appreciate, innit?
You can still call me a good friend.
No. So, for those of you that don't know, this is Françoise Anthony, my good friend from secondary school. Still been friends to this day. In fact, to be fair, we got a good little circle of guys from secondary school, innit?
We do.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
And you just unfortunately happen to end up with one, innit? Hey,
why are you telling people I'm not a single Pringle?
This is actually why I brought it up here.
Go on.
I had a backup question. You see what I'm saying? Think twice, think smart. How do you know when the one is the one? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you actually know? How do you know?
Me and him actually had this conversation the other day.
Is it?
Yeah. Is it TMI if I talk about our relationship too much?
Not really, because nobody knows you.
And he'll forgive me. He'll forgive me. So we had a little argument, and that's normal.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? I feel like if you're not arguing, then you're not talking. Do you get what I mean? Like, you're not really talking about. It depends on the kind of arguments you're having.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you're not arguing, then you're not talking and you're not growing together, because everyone changes in the relationship. Do you know what I mean? Your needs change, your wants change, like your opinions of your partner changes as well because they're changing too.
Ooh,
so
is that like a scary? So I don't mean to cut you off, but is that like a scary thought though, or like is that like a scary thing to happen though when you're in a relationship and like your opinion of that person changes and you notice that change and it's like I don't know if it's a good change or a bad change.
It depends on. I feel like it depends on your mindset in the relationship. Right. You know what I mean? That person changing might actually work for both of you, but then if they change too much and you're not willing to sort of accept that change, or if you have an issue with that change and you don't address it with them, right? If it could be a very toxic change, and if you're not addressing that change with them, then I feel like that's what causes the downfall of a relationship.
Like brush it under the carpet.
Let me just ignore it. Or you have like a deep issue with it, but again you don't address it, and then you cause yourself hurt because you don't want to speak up.
Yeah, facts. All right, so then back to the question, then, how do you know the one is the one? Like,
I was saying this to him the other day, like I said, we had a little tiff, and then we just sat in the car and we were just talking, and I think the conversation was about so me and my therapist, I had like a therapy session that week, and my therapist asked me, are you your true self with your boyfriend? Like, do you think you're yourself? And that all stems, the conversation with the therapist all stemmed from me saying that, like, one of my insecurities is when people call me loud, because I know I'm loud.
Start whispering into the mic. Yeah, so
mad loud, but you know what I mean? Like, what can you do? I know I'm loud. Like, that's not news to me, but it's like a trigger point. Do you get? So during the therapy session, it was just like.
What's so triggering about that though? That's just like you as a person. That's not something you should embrace.
There's a lot of packaging to it. Like, it's you know daddy issues. It kind of stems from mommy issues a little bit as well. Me and mom were good, but it's like she was called loud, but not in a great. She was loud for a reason. Do you get what I mean?
Do you mean like loud in like an aggressive kind of loud way?
Yeah, like I feel like she was a loud parent, and I feel like a lot of minority mums are loud, or a lot of
like, okay, we need to define loud here a little bit though, because loud can,
shouting.
Right, because I was gonna say loud can be like aggressive, but loud can be like strongly opinionated.
Shouting, not even strongly opinionated, like just shouting. Anything that needed to be communicated was loud. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're getting in trouble. Of course, it's gonna be loud. They shout at you. I think that's that. And then when people started calling me loud, that's what I linked it to. Like my mom shouting, telling me off, and just, comes home from work, and obviously maybe the house is a mess. The first thing she's like, why is the house a mess? You kids are in bed. Like, that's what I equated it to.
Do you feel this mum issue is kind of like, in a way, when people call you loud, it's like, oh shit, I'm like my mum.
Yeah.
And that's like a disappointing and like bad thought.
Well, I'm trying, it's sad. And I'm trying to, like, obviously through my therapist, we're trying to break that down and dissociate the two things, right? So when people started calling me loud, it really triggered me. And then to the point where, like, eventually I started saying, people, don't call me loud, I'm not loud. Knowing that, maybe my voice is a little bit loud. And sometimes I try to speak a little lower, and the lower Candace trying to be.
Yeah, but now you're not being yourself, though, innit?
Exactly, and that's what my therapist was trying to get at. Like, are you yourself when you're with your man. I think I am myself when I am with him. Like, I think I am loud. It doesn't bother
Just
him
like
because
audaciously loud.
Audaciously loud.
Don't give a toss.
Because he would have left 7 years ago if it bothered him. If it was such an issue with him. And I also made a point of saying that, like, before we started dating, he knew me. Do you know what I mean? We've known each other since year 7. He's known me for years.
Do you feel like that's an important thing in your relationship in terms of, because you lot have been friends first, you lot have known each other for so long.
Yeah.
You lot have like you know when people don't know each other, you meet, you start dating.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like two people putting on a front for each other. You know what I mean? But where you haven't had that, do you feel like that's worked very well in your favor?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like he's seen me. I would say glow up, because it has been a glow up. He's seen me from bummy to even in context, not even the context of school, right? When we first started dating, or not even first, into our relationship, he's seen like the bummy aspects of my personal life. Is that a pigeon?
Yeah.
Right. He's seen the bummy aspects of my personal life.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? TMI. But when I went off to uni at one point, I think my mom was trying to get me a new bed. Yeah. So she got rid of my old bed, but she didn't get me a new bed in time. So just the mattress. Just
what a pee stains.
Who's pooing on their bed? Shut up, man. Shut up, fam. So just a mattress thing. Yeah. And he slept on that mattress with me.
It is what it is, though.
Got it from the month.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sometimes I think back to that and I'm like, who else would do that with me?
You reckon? Yeah, but how long you had that mattress for, though?
No, it was it was a single mattress, first of all. That mattress and then mum was trying to get me a double bed. Oh. So obviously when she got rid of my old bed, I came back too early for the new bed. Does that make sense? So there was just a mattress on the floor while she was trying to end the bed.
Like trap house type things.
Trap house type vibes.
Come in my trap king.
He was my trap king. He slept on that. Because I think we both came back from uni at the time. There was just the one mattress there. He slept on the one mattress with me. And I think back and I'm like, who else would come? He could have gone home. Who else would have slept on the mattress?
Real one. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a real one, babe. He sat on the mattress with me. So again, when the therapist was asking me, like, are you 100% yourself with him? Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Like, I have nothing, I can't hide anything from him. I have nothing to hide from him. And that's what makes him the one, because I feel like there isn't anyone else, right, that I could have just been 100% myself with. Like, there's just something about, I can't explain it, but there's just something about us together that just makes me feel so safe.
Right.
With him, like just 100% safe, 100% that I can trust him. And I feel like he's a reflection of his family as well. Like when I met his family, I was like, oh damn, this is very different from my family, but this is the family in a very good way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Oh, okay, but this is the family I want one day.
Yeah.
And the reflection of that, and I was like, yeah. So if this is where I want to be one day, in terms of my own family, then why would I not stay?
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
So in the sense of, how do you know when someone is the one? Is that you just feel... So to this day, if he pulls up right now, my tummy is going to be like...
Chill, man. Yeah. No, but I hear it though. I hear it, man. I had this like thought process recently about that. You know what I mean? So I've been single for like 8 months. It's not a long time. Nah, you know what? For me, it's a long time though. Isn't it? And I say this because from when I was 18 up until last year, like I've spent 1 year of that part of my life single. But at least like in total, the rest of it was just relationships. You know what I mean? So for me to be single this long and like really not like care about
being in a relationship,
and like finding that, it's been a whole different experience, and it's been very like eye-opening because I'm able to just sit by myself and sit like with my own issues, my own thoughts, and like, work on myself and not have to worry about anybody else or be responsible for no one else. But I still get the thought still crosses my mind, like damn, am I ever gonna get into a relationship again? Like, damn, like, is this gonna come for me again? Or like, damn, like I don't know, when is this gonna happen?
You know what? I think that's just human nature and wanting to be with someone. Do you get what I mean? I don't think it's so much, am I gonna get... Everybody wants to be with someone, so it's not abnormal that you have those thoughts. But also, I've always advocated that. So if we had ever broken up, right, I was never gonna jump straight into a new relationship. I would have at least taken 2-3 years.
Been outside. Astaghfirullah, bruv. Astaghfirullah.
I never said that. So you said the words.
Yeah, but
right?
you nodded your head. Man said,
I meant to shake.
No,
I meant to shake my head.
I wouldn't be outside.
Shake. But it's normal. It's normal. It's like the culture, isn't it? Like you break up with your partner, you're outside on the rebounds. You're trying to.
All right, cool. Let's put myself out there anyway.
God.
When I broke up with my first ex, that's what I done. Like straight away, like you know what I'm saying. I was outside, bro. Like,
Can I just say, because I literally had to. I said to everyone, if one comes to this motive, another motive with a new girl,
chill, man.
With a new girl,
chill,
like not to
chill,
with
man.
a new girl, right? That's why I was so. I felt so positive from your last relationship. I thought that. You know, this is the one. Like, I was so happy for you. I thought, yeah, this is gonna be it. Do you get what I mean? I thought you've done the dating, you've done the trying.
Yeah, because there was that period where I was just like
what? That's the period another one. To a point where I was just like, nah, same girl, nah, that's a different girlfriend.
Yeah, that's the period that I was on about. So like when I broke up with my first ex,
I
was just like in and out of like little flings and situationships and blah blah blah. And then like that's just the first thing that I did, and after doing that, I continued like either doing that or like trying to now get into another relationship. Whereas I didn't really take time for myself to just be alone and like do my own like kind of healing or whatever you want to call it. And got into relationship again, which didn't last long. Then I got with my last ex that he was like, yo, this might be the one. Yo, you know what? Yeah, I had that feeling and I had that same thought process, and I had that like when I was in a relationship, I thought that, and I thought like there were moments where I was like, yo, like I could see this person being the mother of my kids, innit? But going back to the point where it's like, where it's like, how do you know the one is the one? And it's that feeling that you say, and like the thought process that I've been having recently about like what that feeling might be or might look like. Again, I don't know because I haven't experienced it, but I can only assume. It's like I don't know, I can only assume it's like a feeling of like mad tranquility and peace, knowing that you can be yourself around this person and like not have to, I don't know, put on a front in a way or like hide certain aspects of your character or like whatever it might be, and you can be completely vulnerable and not be taken advantage of. Not to say that people take advantage of your vulnerability.
But people do take advantage of vulnerability.
They do.
It's true. But like I have vulnerabilities that he's aware of. Like obviously my dad did my mom heavily dirty. Daddy is just heavily dirty. So I've seen that, and he understands that vulnerability. And if he was a different person, he might turn around and exploit that. He might treat me terribly, treat me shit. He might, you know, I don't know, but he might treat me exactly how my dad treated my mum. He could do that, and he's aware that that's a fear.
Though. He might do the opposite,
but he is doing,
like, treat you well. And,
he is doing the opposite.
Help you around that rather than take advantage, isn't it?
He is doing the opposite, which is what I'm saying. It's not, you know, love that's the issue. It's the person that you end up with. Which you know that.
That feeling of like peace and tranquility. Because I had that like in like spurts, like momentarily here, momentarily there, momentarily there. It's like, okay, shit, like that's probably why I thought, you could be the mother of my kids, but there was other moments where it's like, nah, this is a bit too chaotic, doesn't work. And then after that, I just went.
I think relationships, like I saw a thing recently where like this couple, they've been married a good couple of years, and they were saying that relationship is work, like marriage itself is work. Like it's not just, oh, I love you. And that's it. You need to put in effort to make it work. And this is what I was saying to my boyfriend, that like we work on it. Do you know what I mean? If we have an issue, we could literally break up. I remember at the start of our relationship, that tranquility that you're talking about, it was there. It was honeymoon phase. And I remember I used to say to him, like, oh, we could never break up.
No, but I'm talking about like that tranquility of like just knowing that you can be comfortable around that person, like open and honest around that person. Like the tranquility that you're on about now, is the honeymoon phase. It's like, there's no arguing.
There's no arguing. Everything's bliss.
Now I'm talking about tranquility where it's like, even if we are arguing, I can still be man, strap yourself around you. I know you're not going to take advantage of that. You get it? It's like a different kind of peace and tranquility. It's tranquility, like it's peace of mind knowing that you can be yourself in this space, good or bad. And you're still going to be accepted. And you're still going to be like held to the same regard and standard as you would be.
But I don't think humans work that way, because despite how well we work with communication, even now, right, I might have an issue with something and I might not even tell him right away. But he's clocked on, but he might not even ask me what's my issue.
Yeah, but that's like...
But then then I can come to him and then talk about it. But then he's aware. He's like, oh yeah, I knew something, but I just didn't. But then it's about how we work through that, rather than turning around and going, oh, so you knew but you didn't want to, console me.
That's where the issue
It's how you work through it. Because easily I could be like, oh yeah, you don't care about my feelings, vice versa. And that's it, end of story. Like even now, I'm discovering new things about myself. Like sometimes I'm generally always, like I said, he's very quiet. I'm generally always the loud person. I make the conversation. And I brought it up to him a couple of times when I'm like, you need to conversate. You need to bring up chat. I think it's a man thing where men just don't talk. And we're always like, oh, but I bring the conversation. I bring the chat. Even I've heard married couples say this. Like, I'm like, bro, please, like, you need to bring the chat. And then when I'm quiet, there's no chat. When I'm quiet, we're gonna sit in silence. Cool. Sometimes I do it on purpose. I do it on purpose.
Now you know, B. Now you know.
And then he's there. I can tell you're mad uncomfortable because you're thinking, oh, she's so quiet. What have I done wrong?
Yeah, bro.
It sounds so bad.
Bad. You know,
but it's like,
purpose,
it's like, okay, but you've been told.
I knew
How many times do I have to tell you?
Yeah, but you see, here's the thing though, yeah? And I guess this is the guy's fault, innit? Because the guy should also communicate to you lot.
Yes.
Like, you know, sometimes all the guy wants here is just to be sat in silence.
No, you don't.
And like, just in your company though. Like you can be next to me and I want you next to me, but like we don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
I don't need to like have a conversation with you to know that we're still good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But if you make me feel as though like not having a conversation with you is not good, bruv. I'm gonna be awkward as well.
It's not even that. I personally don't think it's when we don't have a conversation, it means we're not good. I enjoy sitting in silence with my man.
Do you though? Because clearly you don't.
I do. But there are some times where we're having a conversation. I know I've said a 1,000+ words, and he said 20 words.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sometimes it might even be his topic, right? He's brought the conversation, but somehow
he lets you just ramble.
I've said the most in this conversation. How? And I turn around and I'm thinking to myself, like, now I've made a habit of saying to him, that was your conversation, but you've not said anything. I made a habit, but it's like at the same time, you can't force someone to be a conversationalist. Some people are, and some people just aren't, and that's what it is. But you have to meet in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, but maybe meeting in the middle somewhere isn't you two sharing the same amount of volume in the conversation. Maybe it's, if you want to have a conversation, we'll meet in the middle where I'll pick a topic and start it off, but you can just ramble on, basically. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just going to sit there in silence because you got to pick the topic, you got to do the talking, you got to do the instigating.
I don't want to.
But if he's that cool, I'll figure out something we can talk about. You can ramble on. That's me in the middle.
I don't know.
It's not sharing the same volume.
I want to hear your views, because I know when you're playing Street Fighter with your boys, you know. So that's what you be playing when you lot are playing Street Fighter or whatever you play. You lot have conversations for days. I hear it. I hear the
but that's different though, man. That's like brethren to brethren, man.
So why can't you chat to your girl?
The same way I'm pretty sure you've had conversations with your girls that like maybe you just wouldn't have a be.
Nah, I'd have all the conversations. Oh, it's true. There's stuff that we'll talk about that isn't going to go back to
it. So like it works the same way.
No, it doesn't, because the conversations that you're having with your boys, the conversations I'm having with my girls, I don't need to have with you. But we can conversate the same way you're able to chat bears with your boys and laugh.
Oh, as in like openly and giggle and laugh and like banter.
Yeah, exactly. I want you to banter with me like that too. So what's the problem, G? Obviously we banter. Okay, it's making it sound as if we don't.
You get home.
We just sit in silence. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that sometimes it does feel like as women we carry a lot of the communication in the relationship.
Man, but I think there's another thing you also got to understand too here,
yeah.
Where it's, let's say in an instance you lot have lived together for a while, you've been in a relationship for a while, for example, and all that sort of stuff, The space that you lot shared in the beginning of the relationship is different from where you're at now. And also, the space that you share now is more so like a safe space. It's like, this is me coming home now type thing. So if he's been out all day working, chatting to colleagues and chatting to people and this and that and the next, like he's probably thinking, cool man, it's done with my day now. I just want to go home.
Wind down.
I just want to take off and just chill. So when he comes home, he doesn't want like 100 miles an hour or whatever, you know what I mean?
Too bad.
He just wants, hi babe, like how are you? How was your day? Yeah, man, my day was cool too. Like that's what I done. Nice. Like, dinner ready? Sick, man. Let's just get some food and chill. You know
I think though also it's comfortability. necessarily. It's just sometimes I think it's just knowing that, oh yeah, this girl's here, or that person.
She's gonna stick around whether I chat to her
or not. Like you would say, like the beginning of the relationship, we used to be on FaceTime all the time.
Yeah.
We used to be on the phone. I'd be walking back from uni at the time, and he's on the phone with me. I'm washing dishes. He's on the phone. We're just tied to each other. Then at some point, I noticed the shift when I'm thinking, right, like my phone calls are looking a bit dry. Like he's not calling me no more. We used to fall asleep on the phone together at night. Like I couldn't fall asleep unless I was chatting to that man.
Yeah, but you've also grown up, man. Because how long ago was that when you used
No, this is what I'm saying. But when I clocked that, it was a problem for me because it was a readjustment that I didn't agree to.
Oh, right. Okay. It just came.
It just happened.
Take it.
And I'm thinking, what's this? Because no one cleared that with me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So obviously, I subtly said, oh yeah, we don't be chatting like that no more. I remember when it happened as well. Like not down to the T, but I called one night. No answer. Cool. Let me take myself to bed.
Say you had to tuck yourself in, fall asleep with the phone next to your head.
Fall asleep on my own. And then I think I realized I was like, okay, something shifted. Just sort of adapt to it, which is completely fine. Do you know what I mean? That it was a different period in our lives. It was, moving out of the honeymoon period. It's more realistic now. It's more of a proper relationship.
It's like you got things that you need to get on with now. Things that are like, yo, like let's.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Let's be big. But then there are some people who are just comfortable being like that their whole relationship. You know what I mean?
Honeymoon phase. Yeah, but that's a bit too much, man. I think that almost becomes more of a burden than like a benefit to you. You know what I mean? Like the whole point of you being in a relationship is because you're adding something into your life that's valuable and going to bring value. You know what I mean? But if you're just 24 on the phone with each other, falling asleep at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, like every night on the phone, phone's next to your head, and
no, because that's actually valid. That's actually valid.
It's too much.
That's actually valid.
And I think it's also important to have a social aspect where you can speak to other people as well.
Yeah.
Like you can go see your friends, you can go like, I don't know, spend time with family. Like time alone is essential.
It's essential.
You know what I mean? You can't just be 24/7. But that's a lesson.
I think I learned that at the 3 or 4 year mark.
Is it?
Honestly, 3 or 4 year mark. Because at that point then...
That's a while to learn that lesson,
At that point then, I think I was out of uni. He was still in uni.
Yeah. And
I didn't have uni to distract me anymore.
Wait, how many years have you been going for now?
7. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
7.
I'm not, what's that word?
Get my nails done every month and that. Yeah. 7 good years. So at the 4 year mark, you're not advocating. You're not advocating.
That's on you. You put the pressure on him. Don't use my platform to put pressure on him.
Pressure? What pressure? Nah, he loves it. He loves it here, innit?
Secretly, innit?
So 4 year mark, again, I didn't have that distraction. At uni, I had my friends. I had uni work. I had I had everything that was distracting me. Then all of a sudden I didn't have that distraction anymore. And he was still at uni. He still had uni friend. He still had uni to distract him. I wasn't working. I think we were just sort of going into a lock. Were we? Can't really remember too tough. But then I realized, I was like, oh damn. Text him, I was playing Street Fighter. I was like, right. You could be talking to me right now, but you're playing Street Fighter. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Sorry, my nose is dripping. You could be talking to me right now, but you're playing Street Fighter. Text him, what are you up to? Oh, just chilling with you, chilling with friends. I'm here, I'm at home doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? There was no distraction. Obviously, that sort of little time period built up a lot of resentment, like on my part.
Is it?
Yeah, a lot of resentment. There was even like, what, you were there. You went down to Birmingham. You got invited. Well, you even took your babes to Birmingham.
Yeah.
I didn't get an invite.
I remember this. I went with, it was me, my ex, and Brian.
And Brian didn't get an invite, you know? And then in my head, I was like, I even communicated this to him. I said, Juan took his girlfriend. Like, do you know what I mean? And to me, I was comparing. The comparison was like, you wanted to spend time with your girlfriend. I hadn't had the opportunity to go down and spend time with
you. We was fresh too, and like I'll be honest, just how you was, with B, like very just like tied to each other's shoelaces.
Flexing.
I was like that too though. Yeah, but I was like, Yeah, it was just kind of, we was at that moment, whereas you lot were probably like, what, 3-4 years in?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But even 3-4 years in, it was about being wanted. Like I said, I hadn't seen him in a while. He'd been back at uni. Obviously had to wait for him to get back. I hadn't been invited down to the new place yet. And all I could think was, like, you lot had been invited down before me. And then even at that, Juan's taking his girlfriend.
But I think I also like shouted B and was like, bro, like, we need to come Birmingham, chop it up, like, we need to, you know what I'm saying? We planned to like do some stuff which we didn't end up doing.
Yeah.
But we ended up having a good time.
Making excuses for him.
Yeah, man. No, it's cool.
Shout out boys, innit? Rose before what?
Rose before.
Yeah. Yeah, rose before rose. Yeah, let's say it's that.
Yeah.
But to me, I see it differently. I saw it as, my man didn't want to spend time with me. My man doesn't want me around. Am I too much of an inconvenience for him? That's all the emotions. And it's sad to say, but then it was like, okay, off that, you're not having a good time, fam.
Wow. See, women are bad, bro. Women are bad.
It wasn't even so much, do you know what? It wasn't intentional, but I knew it was stressing him out that I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to, like...
You know what? Here's a good question then, yeah? When you get to that point where it's like, I know that my unhappiness is being a burden on his happiness, yeah?
Yeah.
When or how do you ever get to the point where it's like, right, maybe I need to fix myself in order to make like his life a little bit easier? Or is it the other way around where it's like he needs to fix himself to make my life a little bit easier? Like, where do you find you know what I mean?
Bro, I wish I could write a memoir, because like all the questions you're asking me, I'm like, bro, we've actually been through this. We've had these discussions. That's crazy. Okay, so I don't know the years or whatever, but it must have just been another little argument. I don't know what it was. I was probably just feeling mad insecure or something. And I'd come to see him after work. I don't remember what led to it, but then I was like, in my head, the question that was sticking in my head is compatibility. Right. Again, all stems from the whole him being so quiet, me being so loud, me like sort of planning things for the future and not feeling like he was doing the same. There were just so many things, and I was like, are we compatible? Sorry. I was like, are we compatible? Because I don't see it. Like, I don't think we're compatible, because you're not thinking the way I am. You don't behave the way I do.
Yeah.
And we were having discussions, skirting around the main question, like going back and forth talking. And then I asked him, I was like, do you think we're compatible? And he said no. Nah, yeah, exactly. Because I really cried. I wanted to I was in his house.
Was this like one of your toughest periods?
Yeah, definitely. One of our toughest periods. I went in the bathroom and I cried it out. Like, I was mad dramatic. I was sliding down the walls in there.
No. Some flipping music video, fam.
Yeah, man, I was sliding down the walls. I was no. And then what happened? I came back out, and then he knew the question I was going to ask him right away. Which was, why are you with me then?
So he was like, the answer figured out. Like,
he was like, I knew you were going to ask me that. Yeah. He was like, it's not because we don't have, we're not the same person. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're different people doesn't mean we're not compatible. Because opposites attract, isn't it?
Right.
And again, it's just about working through those differences and adapting to sort of, not even adapting to fit your partner, but adapting to make sure you're both happy, doing the little things. Like, again, like what you asked me, when you realize that you being unhappy hurts your partner, I feel like it's admitting it, like acknowledging that this sort of behavior hurts your partner.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
I admittedly, I've only gotten to that stage now where I'm like, okay, I can't behave like this, because I know it makes him, like, he's going to be sitting there racking his brain thinking, what can I do to make this better? Like, I've hurt her. How do I make this right? Do you know what I mean? I can acknowledge that me behaving a certain type of way does that to him.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it feels like you sort of have the upper hand when your partner feels like that. Because you know that they're going to put in the effort to try and make you happy and make it work with you.
So it's not letting that blow your head off of, like, letting the ego get the better of you.
Get the better of you. It's still meeting them
In the middle.
In the middle.
Damn, yeah.
Really and truly, because I've come to the acceptance that I don't, because he's fine the way he is. Like, there's actually no problems with him, and he's always learning and adapting. Like, and from that conversation, from the whole, are we compatible? I've noticed so many changes. It was little things like, maybe if like I was going to his, I'll see something that he liked and I'll buy it for him.
Yeah. Nice.
But I wouldn't get that reciprocated, and that's how it felt. Or like, little, I don't know, just the little things that I noticed that I was doing that he just wasn't doing back for me. Do you know what I mean? And to me, so far into the relationship, like how long we had been dating, for you to not be doing that, it felt like you didn't care about me.
Right.
So saying that to him after that conversation, like, it was the maddest change. Like, he'd never written me a card before.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't think he'd ever written me a card before, but I always used to get him cards. And after that, I get a card for every occasion.
Nice.
Do you know, it's intentional.
Nice.
It doesn't have to be big.
You know what's so funny, yeah? Like, just for a brief moment, I sat there and I thought to myself, damn, I think B, this is gonna sound so bad, yeah. But like, I think B played it correctly still, because if in the beginning of a relationship you give all of that already, it's like, wait, hear me out, yeah? It's just a thought. I'm not saying this is actual, like, don't take it for gospel. It was just a thought that I had. It's like, if you already give that, like, from the get-go in a relationship, yeah, when that feeling of, like, gratitude or, like, appreciation for what they're giving you plateaus, it's like, what's next? How do you level up?
I don't think it could ever plateau. Like, I'm always gonna be grateful to receive something.
But there's people that are just, it makes me never enough, though. I think the key here, yeah, is not more so what can he give me, but it's you not expecting anything, and anything that you get then becomes like, yo, like, I didn't expect this. That's so nice of you. No,
I think that it's always anything that, even if it is an expectation, anything that I ever get from him is always a surprise. Valentine's Day, everyone expects to, you're with your partner, you expect to get something, right? So I didn't know what I would be getting from him. We didn't have no plans for that day, really and truly.
But then would you not say then that, like, the appreciation or, like, the value that you place on these things just end up becoming very materialistic in a way, though?
But I didn't expect anything materialistic from him. It could have been, we spent the day together. So
let's say,
that would have been big for me.
What, on Valentine's?
Yeah.
If on Valentine's he was like, babe, come on, let's Netflix and chill.
Absolutely. I'm running. What do you mean? Yeah. Let me tell you what he did. I took the day off of work to spend it with my mum for Valentine's Day. Right. I was going to spend the next day with him. Yeah. Right. We didn't really have any plans particularly. I think in the end we were like, we'll cook. Because we enjoy cooking together. So we'll cook the next day. So I went to go grab some Nando's for the fam. And I was pulling up to mine. I was walking. He must have texted me. He was like, because I think I went to Sainsbury's to pick up something as well. Right. I said, I'm in Sainsbury's. He was like, are you on your way home now? I was like, yeah. I'm pulling up to my area. And then I'm walking and then I just kind of see his car. But I'm thinking, maybe someone else has the same car. Somebody else. So I'm still walking. And then all of a sudden, my man steps out of the car. I'm hearing music at this point as well. And I'm like,
I think you know it's B when it's the music.
But no, I still, because I wasn't expecting him. Right. This was completely out of the blue. I just thought, okay, yeah, tomorrow I'll see him. Yeah. So I'm hearing music at this point. But still, I'm thinking, what is that? Like, I thought it was the car right in front of me that the music was coming from. I was paying attention to them. I clocked his car, heard the music, but because I thought, it's not him. Started looking at the car in front of me and there was a couple there and I was thinking, oh, cute. And I look up and there he is coming out of his car with flowers and playing one of my favourite songs.
That is bad. Oh, he's a little COB. He's a little COB.
Mate, playing my favourite song. It's the song that I've always said it's a Nigerian song. It's just really like, it like, when a song moves your heart, like I don't even know the right word for it. But that song, I've said to him like previously that I'd want you to propose to me with this song. But then I've changed my mind since. So that's probably why he used it that day. But that song.
So you thought it was going to get on one knee?
No. Not the way I was looking, please. No. Because it was a bummy day. It was late at night. Like, no.
That's more meaningful. It's like, y'all do this.
It's just random. Oh, 100%. Like, I still find you. Okay. But anyways. But to me, I was like, I was stuck. Like, I was literally stuck. I was looking, I was like, what? Like, I was still trying to process it. But it was a card and flowers, and I loved it. Like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't even the best flowers in the world. He got fleeced though for the flowers, but anyway. But it was the thought that counts. I even felt bad that he paid that much for those flowers. Like, but it was the thought. Like, it was so out of the box. Like, to me, because that was just all the love wrapped up in one. I didn't even need to do the thing the next day, like chill, whatever. I didn't even need that.
Yeah, because it's all done. And
that was him thinking about me.
That's why. So like, So just kind of wanted to ask that because I kind of feel like when you expect things, now it's not more so about the gesture. It's more so about what you're receiving, and that can be very like
that is materialistic.
You know what I mean? That can become so materialistic in a way that it's just kind of like is like are the values right here? You know what I mean? Like are the things that we stand for great here? And if it's like that, then I don't think that's, you know what I mean?
I think if you learn your partner's love language is important, because you might be thinking...
Do you believe in that, by the way?
Yeah, but then I think all my love languages are all the love languages.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know, like...
So I don't think it really matters. I think it's good to know what they are, and I think it's good to acknowledge them.
What's the 5?
To practice. Acts of service, touch, is gifting. Would it be gifting?
Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. Quality time, I think it is. I think it's good to acknowledge that they all exist and give your partner all of it in a way that suits your relationship.
Right, okay.
Because not one person is just about gifting. Do you know what I mean? Like if B was gifting me all the time, I'll just be like, okay, but like, what, we're not gonna spend time together. Like, what is this? Do you know what I mean? And then that comes across as ungrateful, but it's because you're not meeting all those love language needs. And I feel like you need to meet all of those needs. It's not
so many requisites for a bloody relationship.
Well, I don't think I think we overcomplicate it.
No, it comes naturally anyway.
It comes naturally when you love the person. Definitely. But then also, I don't think it also comes naturally when you love the person. I think it's you have to put in the effort.
Oh yeah, and that too. But I think it's natural to want to put in the effort. Maybe not natural to put in the effort, just to want to do it, and then doing the effort is like, it's like going gym. It's natural to want to go gym and be in shape, but like showing up is the hardest part.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Like again, like I said, is working it. And again, one of some of our issues was like I said, the compatibility conversation, it was based off, you don't do these things for me.
Right.
You get? Yeah. But then again, speaking to him about it was, I want to, but it's about doing it.
Yeah.
So you're completely right. You're completely right in that. It's about, what did you say?
It's about showing up, man. It's about like you can want to piss off.
No way!
He just came to join our conversation.
Oh my gosh.
He's a little mascot, innit? I was about to get violent with him, but I was like, no, you know what?
No, get violent. Get violent, because why are you getting so close? Fuck off. Scary.
Yes. What is that? Something along the lines of, you can want to do it, but it's about also showing up. Like, you can want to look good and go gym, but
showing up.
Yeah. True. Hey, I was thinking about compatibility the other day. Just because I'm a bit lonely.
Oh, lonely.
Putting out there, my man's on the market, innit?
Yes. No, he's not.
Really not still, I can't.
Don't hit him up.
But yeah, man, you know what? I watched Father Stew. Have you seen the film Father Stew? It's hilarious. So funny.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's a true story too, innit? So it's about this guy who's like he's a boxer.
Yeah.
He I don't even reveal the story too much. But he's a boxer, innit?
Yeah.
He's like a little bit of like an airhead in a way. He's just kind of like a typical sportsman, you know what I mean? Like he's just like, I got this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I do whatever I want type thing and blah blah blah. But he has his like little things though, you know what I mean? Like his brother's dead.
Oh no.
And, his mum and dad are separate. Yeah. All these things. So you kind of get the gist of what it's like, innit? Anyways, he moves to LA because he wants to become an actor and all of a sudden.
Of course, everyone cliche.
And ends up like falling in love with some girl that goes church.
Love it.
And the girl that goes to church is like, like, do you want to be with me? You gotta like become holy. You know what I mean?
Gotta put in that.
So then he's just like, cool, man. I'll do that. No worries. Yeah, whatever. So he's like taking steps to like getting like baptized, for example, and then like, don't know if it's a Catholic church, isn't it? Like doing all these things to like get involved in the church, but he's only doing it for her. But and then he enrolls Actually, no, he doesn't. So yeah, in doing those things, yeah, that's when he kind of realizes that, oh, hold on a second, though, God is real. You know what I mean? Like I got to take this stuff a bit seriously. And then he gets a calling to become a priest,
Right.
Because he was in an accident.
Yeah.
He almost dies, and then whilst he's like laying on the floor, like the Virgin Mary comes and like speaks to him, innit? So then after that, he was just like, yeah, like, I need to become a priest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Damn. Okay.
So I watched the film, and then after the film, I was just like, damn, like I can't help but think, like, imagine if my life's like that, bro. What if like
what?
Like, I ain't religious, bro. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like I read the Bible. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a religious person. I'm a biblical person.
Okay,
Like, I read the Bible. Like I have my faith in God. Like I trust God, and like I really try to like follow what Jesus taught and what he done type thing. But like religion for me, I can't agree with it at the moment, just because I can see through it.
Right.
I don't know if that's me being like, what's the word that I'm looking for? I don't know if that's me being arrogant in a way, or I don't know if that's me being very like, I don't know, just like driven by ego in a way.
I think religion is such a big conversation.
Yeah, but like it doesn't work for me basically, and the reason why is because I can see through a lot of things, and I'm just like, I don't know about that, man.
I hear you saying that you're biblical and not religious because you can see through religion. I feel like religion has definitely been so tainted. By a lot, it's corrupted,
and it's crazy because it's the Bible that helps me see through religion. Do you get it? It's not even like it's me just being like, nah, man, you and your rah worship and blah blah blah. No, it's like the Bible really helps me see through it. You know what I mean? So I'm just like,
because a lot of preaching that goes on in religion isn't biblical. It's just people giving their opinions, which is why I've always advocated for people need to just read the Bible for yourself,
and pick it up and figure it out,
and understand it for yourself.
That's
like
it.
I completely agree with what you're saying, because I've had that relationship with religion. Like I've been to all sorts of churches like growing up, because I feel like a lot of minorities cling on to religion, and more times you're not even clinging on to what's in the Bible, you're clinging on to what some guy is telling you, and that's sort of that heavily tainted my religion.
I had that experience. I had that experience fairly recently too. But we'll get back into that. We'll quickly talk about the whole thing that I was trying to get around to. It. So I watched Father Stu, and I was like, yo, like, god damn, like, what if like my calling is something similar here? Like, I'm just never gonna get married again, bro. Like, man's never gonna find a missus.
Do you want to get married?
I do. But yeah, and then the reason why I had that such a strong thought was because prior to that, I was thinking to myself that like, right, cool. So man's, you know what I'm saying, like down this little spiritual journey, man's reading the Bible, figuring out things for myself, and like really trying to like, I don't know, like build a set of like fundamental values that I live by and I adhere to, innit?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if a lot of them are very, like almost too high, or like almost too demanding in a way.
Give us an example.
I might get cancelled. You know what I'm saying?
Give us an example that won't get you cancelled.
Nah, I don't give a toss, man. If I get cancelled, I get cancelled.
No, toss.
Like, so look, there's certain things that like today's day in society, especially in big cities like London, deem acceptable, which I look back at it now and like if like I indulge in it, cool, fair enough. But now I'm just like, nah, I don't know about that one, you know.
Do you think that's getting old?
Hell no. I think
it's getting old.
I don't think it's getting old, and I don't think it's getting old, just solely off the fact that if you take that away,
age,
not age, man, the values that you say are getting old, which you can see every day around you, by the way.
Is it raining?
No. If you take that away, and then just observe, which is basically what today's that day and age is, especially here in London, and you look around you. Ask yourself how many things actually work. Like, ask yourself how many things are actually functional. Ask yourself, like, I don't know, like, how many relationships are actually still being kept? How many in relationships, how many of these couples actually respect each other? And, like, if you want to take it beyond relationships, because I think you also should, how well is the government functioning for you?
Bro, don't get me started about the government.
Hold on. how well are all these big companies that like produce goods for you really doing this in
Do
your
you know?
life?
Do you know? The other day we were saying, how is there enough chicken wings for everyone to be eating chicken wings the way we eat chicken wings?
GMO, bro.
Bruv,
GMO.
how chicken wings have 2 wings? So how are we getting multi-packs of chicken wings?
Mental. But this is the point I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So you take away all these old school values that like you say are getting too old.
Yeah.
And like see how society functions, bro. This is it. And are you happy? Do you live fully satisfied and fully happy in today's society around you?
No, but do you know why I think that is? I think because as you get older, you're just more aware of how society functions. You're more aware that it's hard to make money.
So then you are aware of the flaws. And money's not everything. You are aware of the flaws, and then if you are aware of the flaws, then maybe, just maybe, if you think hard enough, you might become aware of how to fix those flaws. Or at least have some sort of idea of what might work.
Nah, you might have an idea of what might work, but I don't think there's any way of ever implementing any of that might work. Because
maybe in the bigger picture, but if you can do it for yourself, that's where you start though. That's where you start.
Yeah.
So you start by looking within and asking yourself, right, what are the things that like I can change for myself so that I can start projecting that outwards? Because one thought that like I've played with in my head for so long now is the idea of totalitarianism, right? Which is something that like one of my good friends, Jordan Peterson, who will one day become a good friend, but I love listening to this guy. Yeah,
manifestation.
Like he talks about this a lot. And he talks about how destructive it is. So if you're not aware by what totalitarianism is, it's the idea that you think you know everything important that there ever is to know.
Yeah.
And that there's nothing else for you to know and discover, and that you know everything basically.
Yeah.
So then what that means is anything bad or negative that happens in your life, how can it be your fault if you know everything? It's not my fault, it's clearly the fault of everybody else around you.
Yeah.
So then your like look on life is everybody else around me needs to change. How can I change you? How can I change you? How can I change you? And that's what's happening with like the woke people nowadays. Yeah, that's another conversation.
Woke people.
You know who, man? That's another conversation. Anyways, let's not skew.
Yeah.
So, then what that does, is it doesn't allow you to look internally and be like, you know what? I know nothing. Like there's so many things that I need to figure out, and it doesn't allow you to look internally and reflect, analyze, and then start implementing improvements in order for you to become better. You know what I mean? And the path, the totalitarianist path is a path to destruction, because you can't look inside and you can't internally analyze, right?
Yeah.
So then the point I was trying to make here is, in order for like change in your broader society to occur, you first need to look within yourself and ask, what are the things that I can do to implement change in my life, which is the change that I want to see outside of me. And then when you start doing it, you attract people that do the same. And then when you attract people that do the same, now you start building a community of people that all think like-minded and think the same way. And then as a big collective, now you can start implementing maybe a bit more change and a bit more thing. But it's tough though, man, because to find a balance, you can never point the finger. I
think humans enjoy living in a society that functions, and then to step out of those boundaries, especially in the society we live in the country we live in, everyone likes to be within the lines. No one likes it when anyone oversteps the boundaries. Because I want to touch on it, like your perception of what wokeness is. I think wokeness is a group of people who no longer want to suffer the microaggressions or oppressions of the society that they live in, and they speak up about it. That's what wokeness is to me. So society doesn't like that. Society wants no one to toe the line. So if you're coming up and you're speaking about, we don't like this, we don't like that, that doesn't make, I don't know how to explain it, that makes things destructive. And the government doesn't want things to be destructive. It makes chaos.
It makes chaos.
The government doesn't want chaos. And if there's a group of people, basically what you're saying, in my opinion, is what wokeness is. There's a group of people who are saying, we don't want to conform to what the standards of society wants us to be. Because they want you to be quiet. They want you to be little. They want you to take the little that you're given.
Yeah, but if so I get what you're saying, yeah.
And there's a fight.
Oh, is it?
I knew they were going to fight. I've never seen an after-school fight before. This kid's are
There's no
actually
school today,
fighting.
man. They just linked up today to actually scrap it out.
Like, actually,
Oh, they actually are fighting as well.
film the fight.
That's jokes.
That is crazy.
Secondary school days, isn't it? Look
Yeah.
at you recording this, bro.
Nah, she was
Alright,
throwing.
cool. So,
Oh no, bruv, we should break that up because that's actually crazy.
man,
She's
kids-
getting,
kids got-
she's actually
kids
getting
got-
messed up.
Kids got to
That's
scrap
crazy.
it out, man.
Nah, bro,
Maybe like
that one kid's actually got that kid on the floor. Like, that's crazy. She went in swinging. Nah, she's actually banging her.
But it's still good.
They're still
Oh,
going.
it's still good.
I knew they were gonna fight.
Do you actually want to go over and stop it?
Oh, I don't know, man. They might cuss us out.
She gives her a toss, bro. You know what? I actually think
finished.
it's important for kids to like.
Nah, they finished. They
toss
scrapped and
around.
they've separated. Yeah, everyone's
But yeah,
separated.
take it too far.
They're going in again.
No, wait.
Nah, they're just.
Anyways, yeah. Look,
That was crazy.
so I agree with you, innit? I agree with you about with the whole like. That's what the definition of woke or being woke should be.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. I do agree with you. But the issue is, yeah, is that like people are now fighting for things that don't make sense,
Go
or
on,
people are
give
now
us an
fighting for
example.
things that just ain't the truth.
Give us an example.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Give us an example.
You really want to
What do
go
you
down that
thought-
lane?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're
What
gonna
do you
have-
think
We're gonna
is
have to go down there, innit?
What do you think
Alright,
is
cool.
not the truth?
What do I think is not the truth?
What do you think people are fighting for? That's stupid. I might agree.
That's silly and like that I think is just so like ridiculous.
I might agree. Go on.
Like all these hundreds of different genders that people are like, yeah, this is what we gotta fight for. Like what? I don't get it. I really don't get it. That's not honesty, and you're not fighting for the truth. Fight for the truth. Yes, that's what woke should be. It should be about fighting against the things, that like are implemented upon you, which go against what natural and truth order is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it shouldn't be about fighting for just like silly things, or things that don't make sense.
But then I have to say that what we consider to be silly, everything is subjective to everyone.
Yeah, but there's objective truth as well.
There is objective truth, and unfortunately, society works in a way where if there's a group of people who feel like they are entitled to a certain level of human rights and acceptance, we can't deny them that.
Yeah, you know, have it.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
Have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want me to call you like something funky, I'll call you whatever you want me to call you.
So funky.
But then don't try and make it like a law that everyone has to accept.
Like, don't force it on.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I watched a video the other day, and I think this is a good example of how it should work, yeah? I watched a video the other day, and this is gonna sound a bit crazy, but if you get it, you get it. You don't.
You don't.
Of a kid who walks into a shop, with a hood, like with them bait hoodies that you can close all the way.
Yeah.
He's got it pretty much closed up to like his eyes, isn't it? And then the shop owner comes out and he's like, "Yo, take the hood off and you can be here. But if you don't take the hood off, leave." And he's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Because there's no shiesties allowed, isn't it? Shiesties are by the club."
Yeah.
And he's like, "This ain't about the club, because I don't care. Like, your face is covered up. Like, just
same thing.
if you want to be here, take the hood down, and I'll happily let you be here. You know what I mean? But if not, leave." He's like, "Why should I? I can do whatever I want." And it's like, no, look, like, this is my shop.
Yep.
This is my rules.
Yep.
If you don't like it, then you can do what you want to do.
Yep.
But just go do that somewhere else, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I think it should work in that similar
Absolutely.
context. Do what you want to do, and if it doesn't work over here, just don't do it
Don't
there.
do it over there. Go do it
It's
somewhere
accepted,
else.
man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't let, like, I don't know, for example, you wouldn't let some crackhead into your house to shoot heroin. But if he's doing it over there on the road
That's not my
where
business.
people are leaving him alone and he's leaving you alone,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
That's
I'm
not
not
my
advocating the
business.
behavior, but like, to each their own. Go do it where it's accepted, man. No?
I get that, but also in the same breath, I feel like, I don't think I can dispute that. I don't think I can dispute that. If you're doing it and it's not harming anyone, then
I think what we should be doing is, if there's a crackhead shooting heroin across the road, you should be looking to see how you can help him. You know what I mean? Not how you can accept him and then go shoot crack heroin with him in the corner. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
No, I agree with that.
For how you should go help him.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to the whole topic of where, like, how this even all started. Is the like me thinking to myself that, like, fuck, am I ever gonna have a relationship or not? Where it's like, these standards that I impose, are they too high? Like, you asked me for an example. An example would be like somebody who thinks like-minded in that way. That has to be very critical and like very like, there's things that I do not agree with, and you got to stand by that no matter what. You know what I mean? So another example that I can give you, an actual like example that's easy to understand, you could say, would be, God damn. All right, here we go. Honesty and truth. So this is something that like I struggled with myself. So this is why I'm kind of big on it now-ish in a way, yeah. So I think my last relationship was probably the only relationship that I ever had which like the person held up a mirror to my face and was like, yo, this is you, you know. Like, you are a liar, you hide things, like you are dishonest, like you are, yeah. It's tough, but it was needed, you know what I mean? It was needed. And so even after breaking up, the whole like thing happened, and I had time to like sit down and analyze things and like think to myself and like slowly start rebuilding again and like, you know what I'm saying? It was only until December last year where like I had this one day was crazy, by the way, but I had this one day where I was just like, bruv, that's it, like no more. I can't do this no more. Like, I can't lie no more. I can't be dishonest no more. Like I have to live my life being truthful and honest no matter what. Like at any cost. And if I cannot be honest and truthful in that particular moment in time, I'm just not gonna lie. I'm just not gonna say nothing, I'm not gonna do nothing, but I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? So like one of my like, I guess you could say like requirements from a person would be to have that same standard and that same standard across the board no matter what. You know what I mean? Like if me and you are together and I see that like you act with me in a certain way, and then when we go somewhere else you're acting mad different, it's like, yo, you're not being honest either with me or with that person. But it's dishonesty. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? I've had times when in our relationship I feel like we've been TMI around like our friends. Like I think there's been times when you guys knew we weren't on good terms, like when we've been out together, which is why I feel like, to me, that's honesty. That's honesty in terms of you don't pretend that you're happy when you're not. Or
you know what,
you're okay with your partner when you're not.
This is
it might make everyone else uncomfortable, 100%. I remember that time when he and I had like, I don't know what he did. Sorry, something stupid. It probably wasn't even a big deal. We came to watch you play football. Do you remember? Your ex was there. We all came to watch you play football.
Oh, at a big match.
At the big match. And then after, I feel like you both tried to mediate a little bit, trying to make us friends again. Before, you guys were trying to mediate the situation, which, you know what, it helped a bit, because like when we left, we didn't leave on good terms after, but it sort of calmed it down. Like it made it a lot less than what it could have been. But you were trying to mediate it, and I feel like when I look back at it a little bit, I felt embarrassed. I didn't turn up to your birthday the next day because we still weren't on good terms, and I didn't want to be around everyone in that environment when he and I were on such bad terms.
That's fine. I think that's an exception.
Right, because I didn't want everyone to feel uncomfortable, because you know it would definitely brush off. But I feel like it is important in terms of honesty that people don't hide when their relationships on the best terms. You know what I mean?
Right. This, you know what? I think it's interesting that you bring this up here before you start getting into your point, because this is something that like I had to battle with in my previous relationship, innit? So whenever something would get between me and my ex, so like, grind my gears, innit? Damn, right? And then like I'd be like, it'll poke a nerve, you know what I mean? And like I would find it so hard to like sit with her and her family, sit with her and like our friends, or like sit with her and whoever we're with, and just put on this like front that man's happy, our relationship's good. Like how can I have something against my missus, and in front of everyone, oh babe, give her kisses and shit, you know what I mean? Like,
but that's what she wants. That's what she wants.
So then like I couldn't do that. I really couldn't do that.
Yeah, of course.
And the issues that it caused, bruv, it was like, bruv, act like you're not mad.
But was she acting like she wasn't mad?
No.
Exactly. So why would you expect that from your partner?
Wait, she was acting like she wasn't mad though. She was acting like things was good.
So she would still be kissing you and...
Yeah, man, and that would really bug me out, because I know it's not genuine, bruv. You know what I mean? I know it's not genuine. Whereas I'm unfortunately, being my genuine self, which was angry at that time, but I would get punished for it. But then one thing that was like the other thing, which also made sense that she would say, which was, if you can't hide your emotions, then just don't be here. Do you know what I mean? Like, go home, sort that out in private, and then you can come back, which is something that I can respect. Do you know what I mean?
But then you need to sort it out together.
Yeah. Which will or like just leave and then we'll sort it out after, innit? Which is like, that's something that I can respect. You know what I mean? That's something I can say, all right, cool, I can agree with that. But to tell me in that moment when you've just pissed me off, to not be pissed off and not show emotion in front of everyone, you're asking me to lie.
It's different when it's, say, if you've had the argument at home and, you know, where you could easily just stay home and not go out. You decided to go out and be moody in that environment. Or if, like you said, you've been pissed off in that moment. And obviously, it's human, isn't it? Like, you're pissed off. You're not going to be smiling and joking. But then it's unfair for her to turn around and say, if you're not going to pretend to be happy, like, do you know what I mean? That's not okay. Because you can't piss me off and then expect me to laugh with you.
Nah, I mean, bro.
Like, that's not healthy.
You'll be laughing, I'll be like, yeah, you know what I mean?
That's not healthy, and I get it as well, because you'll be fuming and everyone else around you is like laughing and joking, but inside you're sitting there, you're seething. Like, that's not okay. That's not all right. But I do feel like if you'd both, I don't know, if someone had heard the argument, whatever the issue was, and then had, you know, addressed it, come and mediate it, then it's a lot different.
But there's people that ain't comfortable with people getting involved in their issues. Though, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if he is, but I don't have an issue with it. But it depends how the person speaks to me. Like, don't disregard my feelings, or don't try and dismiss it, or don't talk down to me.
What if you're just like plain and simple in the wrong? Like,
if I'm plain and simple in the wrong, I would still accept that. Like, I'm not above reproach. Like, I'm not above someone telling me, like, this is your fault. I'm not above it at all. Like, I'm not above B tell me as well, like, it hurts though. It hurts to be wrong. Like, it really does. I don't like being wrong. Like, you know, you always want to be right. And I think it's low-key, I feel bad because I feel like guys take a lot of the brunt and they apologize a lot. I feel like men apologize a lot. Like,
one thing,
this is not giving pick me. It's not giving pick me, but I can acknowledge that men apologize a lot. Sometimes he's apologizing.
Yeah, but it's a bit too much though, man. I think some men shouldn't cave into that though, you know. No. I think all men shouldn't cave into that. Sorry.
I've told B, like, a while ago, I said, I don't want apologies anymore. I don't want you to say you're sorry, because it gets, even for the person receiving the apology, it becomes a bit like a child and parent relationship. Or like a teacher and student.
Facts. Yeah,
like,
you're not wrong.
I'm telling you off and you're apologizing. No, it's about, okay, I've acknowledged what you said. This is how I'm going to change, or this is what I'm going to do different. I don't even like hearing apologies from my family.
Is it?
Because more times you're going to repeat this family, like they're going to annoy you all the time. They're going to do whatever.
Thinking about it, I think like, if you want an apology, you kind of want that because it kind of tickles your ego in a way. It's kind of like, yo, I want the apology.
It's like a selfish desire. It is a selfish desire. That's why I stopped asking for apologies, because I recognize as well that it makes me feel like, oh, I'm in the right. But more times, maybe no one's really in the right, and maybe no one's really in the wrong. Do you get what I mean? It's just
two people figuring.
Yeah, man. It's just two people figuring it out. Sometimes he's done something he doesn't even realize he's done.
Yeah,
and I've told him, what are you apologizing for? You don't need to apologize. You just don't do it again, or you do it different next time. Do you get? But like, when I say like my family, like, you're apologizing. What is that? Oh, you're apologizing to keep the peace. You don't really want to apologize to me. Do you know what I mean? So apologies for me have to be so warranted for me to really feel like, like, that apology was necessary.
That's something my cousin says. My cousin says, only apologize if you're actually sorry for what you done. You're not gonna do that again. You know what I mean? Don't apologize for the sake of apologizing.
I hate a sake of apology.
You know what? I think I did get to that point at one point where I was just apologizing for bare stuff and I wasn't changing my behavior. But I never understood it when I got told.
Do you know what you just said? You're just apologizing and you weren't changing your behavior. An apology, bruv, it was just something in my head. Apology is just words. It's literally
actions.
it's the action.
Actions that define a man.
Any human.
Yeah,
Any human.
Facts.
An apology is just, it's so easy to do. Sorry. Like in my culture, it's a big thing to say I'm sorry. Like even if you haven't hurt someone, so say someone fell down, it's a cultural thing to say, oh, sorry to that person.
I think it's just a normal thing that you say.
Yeah.
Like, if someone gets in your way, you say sorry.
Oh, sorry.
To them. Yeah. So, sorry, love.
I'm in someone's way. I'm sorry.
You
Do you know what I mean? Sorry is just such a simple. It can have meaning. It can be very heavy when
it's meaning when it comes with action.
It comes with action.
Yeah.
But sorry itself can have meaning if someone sits in front of you and you acknowledge what you've done, you accept responsibility for what you've done, and it's 100% pure, and you apologize. That can be so powerful. But on a day-to-day thing, sorry, don't
cut it.
Don't cut. It's just the word, bro. It's just the word.
Damn. Yeah.
It's just a two.
Yeah, it's still.
What is it? 2-syllable word? A 2-letter word? What is it?
Sorry, 3 syllables. 3 syllables.
2 letters. It's a 3-syllable word.
3-syllable word. Yeah, man. Damn.
That's
what
it is. Well, Aveen wants to go on a hike.
Alright, cool. You know what? Aveen shouted me, yeah?
Yeah.
She shouted me today just to laugh at me.
To say what?
She messaged me and she was like, you know what, I just remembered. She's like, I remember when you was in like year 10 and your mum caught you smoking weed.
What happened?
And she was like, I remember when you was in year 10, your mum caught you smoking weed and she sent you to church and she banned you from seeing Anthony. I was like, oh.
What did she ban you from seeing Anthony?
No, so I'll explain the story, innit? So basically,
a bad influence.
Nah, man, I think it was probably me that influenced Anthony. So I was, I don't know, I can't remember if it was like, it wasn't summer holiday.
I'm the bad guy.
I was the bad guy. It was still quite cold-ish.
Yeah.
But this day was hilarious.
Yeah.
This day was so funny. So we was in year, I think it was in year 10.
Yeah.
I think it was in year 10. And we had a friend that was 2 years above us. So he was in first year, 6th form, called Ahmed. And you remember Ahmed?
I know Ahmed, yeah.
The Asian guy.
I know Ahmed.
Cool. Wait, why'd you say that though?
Nothing. Carry on.
Is there?
No.
I think there is. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I don't know what it is. So us three, like, we linked up, and Ahmed at this point had a car. Like, he just got a car and he was driving around, and we was just like, when you're young and you got a car, for no reason.
Arif driving illegally.
Yeah, literally. So he was like, yo, let's pick up some bud, like, let's smoke, whatever.
Criminals.
I know, criminals, delinquents.
Heavy.
So then obviously in my area I knew bare guys that were shooting, innit? So I was like, yeah, cool. Like, I'll shout a few guys and we'll go and see what we can do, innit?
Yeah.
So obviously shout my guy.
Shouting the plug.
Shout my guy. We get to like the area, pick up, build, like I get him to build a few splits for me because I couldn't build it. And I was young, innit? All of us were young. So he's built it for us. We got like 2 splits between 3 of us.
Yeah.
And then
that's a lot.
It was quite late.
Yeah.
Maybe like 8ish now at this point. And we was like, alright, cool, like, let's go Southwark Park.
Was it a school week or?
Might have been. I don't know. It might have been.
Worse.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Properly.
Yeah.
This is the important part.
Yeah.
I remember it. So it must have been like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I was like, yo, alright, cool, let's go Southwark Park to smoke.
Yeah.
So we was in my area, which was like Liverpool Street side, Allgate side. So we've left now, gone back to Southwark Park, and Southwark Park's closed, isn't it? So we've jumped over the fence, me, Anthony, and Ahmed, and I think like one of us stepped in poo or something. It was horrible. It was horrible. And then so we're inside Southwark Park. We're in the little what's it called? That kiosk thing.
The kiosk, yeah.
And we're just there, just smoking 2 zoots between 3 of us, 2 zoots in rotation. We're just getting fried. We're high. And it gets to like 10:30. I'm stoned, I'm stoned.
Yeah.
Mum's bedding off my line. And I was young, so at these times it's like, yo, you gotta be home. You gotta be home.
Yeah.
So my mum's bedding off my line. I'm not answering. I've always been that kid to just not answer
your phone.
Mum. I get like 20 missed calls, 30 missed calls. She's answering, calling.
High blood pressure, man.
Yeah, man. So I'm like, boys, like, I got to cut yard.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, like, I'm still stoned, innit?
Yeah.
Mum was like, don't worry, bro, I'll drive you home. Anthony's like, I'm not letting him drive you home. He's fried. He's like, I care about you too much, but I don't want you to die type thing. And I was like,
Anthony.
cool, appreciate it. Yeah, he saved my life that day. So we jumped back over the fence and then, pardon me, and then just waiting at the bus stop for the bus. I just remember being stoned off my head, but I was like, fuck, I'm going to go home. I didn't even know what's going to happen. So then cool, I get on the bus, I go home now, yeah. And then I come inside and I can't go to my room because like my mum and my dad have a family friend over fixing at the radiator in my room. And this guy is very religious, you know what I'm saying? One of the religious friends. So I can't even go in there. And then my mum and my dad are in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So when I go up, and my sister's in the living room. So when I come in, I go into the living room, I just sit down, next to my sister on the sofa, and I just start watching TV, innit? And I'm stoned. I just remember being stoned. And I don't say hello to no one, innit?
I don't even do pleasantries.
I know, I don't say hello to no one. I just sit down, innit? Watching TV.
Yeah.
And then I look at my sister,
Oh,
and I look back, and she just starts laughing her head off, baiting my nose. Bro. She starts laughing her head off. And then in the kitchen I hear, what's funny? I'm like, nothing.
Yeah, because nothing's funny now.
Dad comes out of the kitchen into the living room, and he stands next to me on this side, innit?
Yeah.
And I'm just watching TV. I'm not even looking at him. I don't even dare look at him. He's like, what's funny? I'm like, nothing. And he's like, what's funny? Nothing. I look back. I look at him and I look back here. Yeah. And he's like, and he goes back into the kitchen, innit? And then from the kitchen, I just hear my mom, Juancho. Juancho's like, yeah, come here. Come into the kitchen. Go into the kitchen. And boom. Mom looks at me. She's like, what's this? No, I didn't get beat. It was worse than that, bro. My mom started crying and that. She's like, what's this? Like, what am I gonna do with you? Like, you taking drugs? Like why are you smoking? This and that. She's like, you getting bullied in school.
What? Yeah. Why do they do that? What do you mean?
She's like, you getting bullied in school.
What do you mean? Peer pressure.
Yeah, you getting peer pressure. Like, he's making you do these things, you know what I mean?
They do drugs again.
Bro, and then she just squeezed out all the details that she possibly could from me. And you know what was so crazy, yeah? What was so crazy is that a week before this, like a week or two before this, I got caught with like Rizla. I think there was a grinder, a lighter, and like bare little baggies in my school bag, innit? Just because me and a few friends were up to no good.
I'd have no clue that you were like
me and my, you see,
getting high in year 10.
So a week before this, my friends had a good idea, to go buy paracetamols, and crush it up, put it in these little baggies and go shot it, innit? So that's why I had all these little baggies. That's why I had all these little baggies in my bag. Entrepreneurs, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had all these little baggies in my bag, innit? And obviously the Rizla was just smoking. So when my mum goes into my bag and sees all of this, like a week later, then catching me high. Oh man, it was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, my mum was finished. So yeah, she like took my phone off me for like a whole month, bro. Couldn't go out, couldn't do nothing. Yeah, man, I was done and dusted. And from that point forward, like, she knew that I was with Anthony that day. Yeah. And then she just like didn't really like him for a while, you know what I mean? But
Anthony was
after that, like, we grew up and now my mum loves Anthony. Yeah. You know what I mean? Things change.
Who doesn't love Anthony?
I know, man. I know. He's that guy. I haven't shouted him in a while though.
Bro, Anthony's saved me and B so many times. Well, I say me and B, but like Anthony is just,
yeah, man. That's my guy, man. That's, you know what I'm saying? You know what I find so sick about me and Anthony's friendship is that I don't have to chat to him every day. I ain't spoken to him since maybe like January, December. Yeah, I know. I hit him up tomorrow. Yep. He's there. Yep. He's holding it down.
But I think that's our whole friendship group. It's just because we all just know everyone's there.
We all know where we're at.
We all know where we're at, and I think nobody ever has a problem with not speaking to anyone for months. You know what I mean? And then when we do, it's like, yeah, man. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like I've not seen you for 2 years. It's calm. Like it's never an issue. Yeah, man.
But yeah, that's the story, bro. That's the story. So she hit me up today, just to remind me of that and to laugh at me, bro. You and your drug paraphernalia when we were drug use. This is stuff I've heard. Like I've not witnessed firsthand, so I do not know any of this intelligence. When you were doing your balloons, do you remember NTS? Yeah.
You were doing your balloons.
Yeah.
Right. That's the first ever time I feel like I'm always out the loop about like what's going on in the world. Right. Like, do you know what I mean? So when I saw you not doing balloons, I was genuinely confused.
Is it?
And then when I was asking you, man, you're really telling me, oh, it's balloons. It's balloons. Thinking I should, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's
how do you
like
know this?
Exactly. You lot are telling me it's balloons, but still, like, the whole time I was still thinking, what is it? And you lot are there going, now I'm thinking, but what? Why are they blowing on balloons?
That was a short-lived thing. I look back and I yeah, man, I did not.
Wow, and then what was it? When I was at uni is when I found out what you were actually doing.
Oh, is it?
And that's what?
That's like a good
3 years later?
3 years later.
That's when I found out what you were actually doing. And I was like, this is what I was. I was like, oh my gosh, it's drugs. Yeah.
That was such a short-lived phase, you know. That was like end of year 11, touching the beginning of year 12, and then done. Like,
but now balloons are such an epidemic. Like, it's actually sad.
I think it's such a scatty thing.
It is a scatty thing to do, and I just feel like smoke weed at that point. Like,
and
the high is longer, first of all, and also you don't cut off oxygen to your brain, so you're not gonna die, maybe.
And no one's ever overdosed from weed, you know, from cannabis. No one's ever overdosed from it. You might as well just pick up a spliff rather than do a balloon. And I think, you know what, me personally, I think, like, even just looking at someone do a balloon, I'm just like, this just not. It just does not.
Like, it was like, you know those videos of like America and they're like, well, I don't know what drug it is that they take out there, but then the druggies are like, they're like this, and they're like leaning forward, and they're like sleeping. They're like sleeping standing up.
That could be anything.
That could be anything. I don't know what it is.
Valium. That could be like
oxy,
opium.
Anyways, that's all like really deep stuff. We don't want to get assassinated.
All right.
I mean, we don't want to get assassinated.
Right. By who? Big Pharma?
By the Big Pharma.
One Big Pharma. And that's why I'm growing my own veg.
Big Pharma, he said it, bro. This is the whole growing your own food and stuff. Like, I feel it because nothing is... In the UK is a lot better. Like, in most of Europe is a lot better.
Food quality. Oh yeah,
in most of Europe, it's a mess. In most of Europe, it's definitely a lot better. We definitely have a lot better standards. But even at that, like,
I still want to do it myself though. You know, I think I want to do it myself as well, more so for the independency aspect of it. You know what I mean? I don't want to be dependent on no one, on nothing no more. If I can like learn how to grow my own fruit and veg, my own herbs, and like, I don't know, just
self-sufficient.
Be a lot more self-sufficient and
you grow something and you can eat it. Yeah, like I have relatives like who live in France, like in the countryside, and they grow everything. Everything is green, basically. They have like mad woods behind their homes where they catch rabbits.
That's it.
They had like, my aunt had like a strawberry patch, like rhubarb, she had tomatoes. It's hard work, honestly, it's hard work.
But I think it must be so rewarding.
It's so rewarding and it's easy. Like the area they live in, they have a farm, they have a couple farms in the area, so they get local meat. They have like patisseries, which means they get fresh baguettes. They can get fresh like milk and stuff like that. Nice. Like everything is fresh. Yeah, that's you can go out into the forest and get wild berries, nuts, all of that stuff. Everything is ecological. They have solar panels, so they even resell energy to power plants. Yeah, because they collect enough during the summer. So they resell it in winter. So then they can heat their home in winter. Different ball game. Different ball game. Whenever we'd go there, I always used to think like, yeah, this is what I want.
They really are the plug.
Like, they really are the plug. They are the plug. That's so dumb. No, but they really are the plug.
That's a different level.
It's a different lifestyle, but it's like, it's a good lifestyle. It's a healthy lifestyle.
That's exactly what I'm trying to be on, But you know what? I think this is another thought process that I had. Maybe my next babe's gonna be like a little villager that knows how to grow.
Yeah, they intentionally. Do you know what I mean? Get in them circles and date someone who's on the same vibe as you.
No, but I'm trying to do that though. I you know what? Like, I think my time in the city is like.
Oh really?
I think.
But do you know what? We were having this conversation the other day because obviously when we eventually buy a that, it won't be in the city because it will definitely be outside of London just because of cost of living. Like,
but would you go live outside of London but be in like a town and still like carry the same sort of lifestyle you have here? Or would you like move outside of London and be like a different type of lifestyle, a bit more like in tune with nature type?
Like obviously, like,
be out now.
There's a life like I'd want to cultivate for myself, right? Like I'd love to be able to have the time to grow my own stuff and whatever, but that requires time and it requires...
But you know what? Here's one thing though, I think most of us spend a lot of our time acquiring money to buy the things that we need. But if you...
can grow the things you need...
then maybe you don't have to spend as much time acquiring money to buy those.
But you need to put money into growing those things. Like you need a greenhouse.
At first, exactly. At first you need to buy all the assets in order for you to be able to do
and you need the time to be able to do it. And a lot of, I think, not even money, I feel like a lot of my, like what I worry about is time these days. Like money, probably money is second to that. like a lot of my thing is, oh wow, like I'm realizing like how old I am now, and I'm like, damn, like it's just hit. Oh man, it's like it just comes at you so fast. I'm just like, bro, how did I get here?
Yeah,
You know what
I
mean?
get that
think
thought
back,
sometimes
I'm
too.
like, oh, I wish I could go back. And then I think to the future as well. I'm like, oh, one day I'm gonna be this age. Like one day I'm gonna be struggling to walk. Like,
you know what's scary as well is that the people around me are also growing up. Like some of the people around me are older than me. So when I was young and I used to see them and they were young too, now it's like I'm here. I'm like I'm in the middle of young and old now. But you're like, sorry,
you're
you know what I'm saying? It's like,
we're not even in the same age group anymore. Like I'm not that far behind, fam. You're not far behind. You're not far behind. Like I'll compare it to like B's siblings, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, when he and I were at uni, they were just out of uni and stuff. But to me, they were like older. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I was still at uni.
But you still looked at them and was like, you're not that old.
You're not that old. And then
now you're just out.
Now I'm like close. Now I'm like, we're age mates. Like I'm like, we're close. Like I'm working, you're working.
You know
I'm however old I am.
Yeah,
and
man.
That's not far off your age. Whereas before, I would have been like, oh yeah, there's like a.
Yeah,
but now there's not so much of a distance, really.
Yeah, scary still.
Because we're now all like heading to the same thing.
You know what? Growing up, one thing has made me realize though that like our parents.
Yeah.
Were also going through this, and I feel like I reckon they still go through this. So they're just like they're adults, that did it. Because we like, I'll give it to you from this perspective. As a kid, you look at them and you think you're an adult, you got it figured out.
Yeah.
But now that you're there, it's like, yo, like they were adults that didn't have it figured out and were just figuring it out. Fam.
So if I was thinking like this at my age, and at my age, my mom already had like what two kids, maybe 3 kids.
Can you imagine?
And I'm here going, like no.
Can you imagine?
Relax. Some people like to me, oh, you're gonna have kids in, and I'm like, relax. Like I saw a picture of my mom the other day, and she was quite young. She could have been maybe like 22, 23, and I was just looking at her picture, and I was just like, bro, like, I wonder what you were thinking, like what plans you had for yourself and stuff. And these days I try to give her grace, right? Because I like this saying that we see on TikTok about your parents are also living for the first time.
Yeah, so, people think that they've been here and done that already, innit? Yeah.
Yeah, they've been our age and stuff, but at our age, however we're thinking, it's probably how they're thinking as well. They haven't got it figured out. They just happen to have had kids. Yeah. They just happen to have had to grow up faster circumstances. Do you know what I mean? Facts. But we've got that grace where we don't have to, because we're living in a time where, you know, things are a lot easier for us. They've made that possible.
You know what, yeah? This is something that I think about too. Do you actually think that like we live in a day and age where things are easier for us?
I don't think
so, you know.
I think struggles are different.
But I also think like the system's built to make you less capable. Yeah, and maybe we can get into that soon. And 2, like just to make things a lot more harder for you as well.
I think the struggles are similar across generations, right? But I think it's harder for our generation just because of where society is right now. It's just super unstable. Do you know what I mean? There isn't a lot that benefits us in today's society.
Nothing.
Like that was, you know, all the prior generations, they had a lot to benefit. But I guess it's inflation. The money's comparable. Like,
but I don't think it's just money and inflation though. I think there's other things that go into it.
I wanted to compare it to the fact that, like, for example, purchasing a house, like a couple years ago, what the older generation was saying, they bought homes for £5,000.
10 grand.
10 grand. I inherited it.
I got it in a cereal box. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just had to water it and it grew. Like it's stuff like that where we don't. It's not the same for us. You know what I mean? We have to work a lot harder.
Yeah,
because things are a lot harder.
So different.
But then again, you can't compare struggles. Like for example, we're minorities. So our parents' struggles are going to be a lot different to people who are native to the UK.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? It's definitely a lot different. There's biases that comes with us. Like for me personally, we migrated to this country. Like my parents weren't born here. I wasn't even born here.
Was you not?
No.
Oh,
yeah.
Run
this London. Run this UK, bro. JK, get on, country. Nah, when I tell people that, they're always so shocked. But yeah, I wasn't born
No,
here.
I was
Just
still, but my
migrated.
parents were. My parents came and they migrated over.
Yeah, like we migrate, and that in itself is a struggle because you come to another country and then now you're learning.
Yeah, culture, language, you're learning behavior, you're learning different things.
There's so many to learn on top of just working, living, feeding your kids, trying to keep yourself happy. Like the other day, my mum went to this like arcade thing with a mate and she was shooting guns or whatever it was that she was doing. Yeah. I was like, yeah, sis, activity, babe. Live your best. Like I want to be able to give her those experiences. You know what I mean? I want to take her to the spa, I want to take her to activities. But sometimes it's hard because also I'm living for the first time. So I want to do those things. And also I have a boyfriend. I want to do those things with him. So it's such a hard balance where I want to live life with her for the first time, but I also want to live life for myself.
Yeah, we can share though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to find a balance.
Oh, right.
It's hard to find a balance. Like sometimes I'll finish work, right? And I'll finish at like 3:30, maybe 3 or whatever. And I'm thinking, I should go home and spend time with my family. But then my man lives down the corner. Why would I not? Like it's hard. And then I think as well, like, one day like you'll move out of the house. Like it's important to cherish those moments with your family. But then no, my man's down the road. Like, you know what I mean? Why would I miss out on spending time with him? Like,
I think you know what I think you hit the nail on the head though, innit?
Yeah.
That like one day you will move out.
Yeah.
So, like, you can kind of, what do they call it? They call it stalling gratification. There's another word for it. I can't remember what it is, but it's the idea that you stall gratification, that you withhold yourself from gratification now because you know that the sacrifice you make now means that you receive it in the future, but like multiple. Like
I know what you mean. What is the word?
Nah,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's called delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification.
That's what I was looking for. So it's that idea, and also, and this is something that like I was also thinking about too. If you want to go into a little bit deeper, that like I now kind of don't think that like kids should be leaving their homes until they find a partner and are ready to move out. You know what I mean? So until you're at that point where it's like, yo, I'm gonna live my life now with this person for the rest of my life.
I'm off.
Just stay at home. And whilst you stay at home, like you're doing at the moment, like you should be spending time with your parents. You should be doing that because you're gonna eventually, when you move out and be, gonna have all that time now to be with him. So I wouldn't stress too much about that.
It's not. I agree with that, but also, you know what? I'm not even gonna argue it. I'm not even gonna argue it with you. I agree with that 100% because I'm gonna argue it with you because I feel like delayed gratification, but why can't I be gratified now? Why can't I spend a couple hours with being
do it. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying like be mindful of like how much
time I'm actually. But then also, why do I have to be mindful about how much time I'm spending with him? Why can't I spend that time with him? I don't want to be 70 going, that one time when I was 23, I should have just gone over to his house and spent the time with him, or I should have just, I don't want to be 70 thinking, damn, I wish I'd just,
but then you also don't want to be 70 and think to yourself, damn, all that time that I spent with like me, I could have spent that with my mom because I've still got being next to me.
It's such a double.
Or even if it's like, like when you're 70, it's like, I wish I never spent all that time with B.
Yeah,
I could have been building and doing all these other shit too, you know what I mean?
That makes me feel like a shit daughter.
No, not like that, bro. Not like that.
No, I hear
but you can take that same argument into everything. Like, why delay gratification? Well, it's because in the future, when you can, I guess, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Maybe if you delay gratification now, the fruits of your labor after are gonna be way bigger and better. You know what I mean? And then that way, when you're older, you don't look back and think to yourself, damn, like why did I waste so much time?
You're right. You're definitely not wrong. And you know what? Recently, when I've been thinking about moving out, like it's so anticipated. But then I've been thinking like, one day I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna miss that being that child living at home, like just being in my mom's house.
You have to let that go at some point, though.
You do. Which I absolutely, I will welcome it when that time comes. But I'm trying really to be. Have you seen the parrot that lives around this area? He just flew up there.
Is it?
Can you see green like right ahead in that tree?
Oh yeah, I can see it.
It's the local parrot.
Oh, say what?
Yeah.
When I used to look at.
friends? I mean, there's two of them now.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
there is two of
I
them.
only see
There's
one.
like a smaller green one up that
Oh,
you
yeah,
just threw down.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise he has a friend now.
When I used to work at Joe and the Juice
Yeah.
in Chelsea, yeah.
You used to work at Joe and the Juice and you didn't put man on.
No, but I was 18, yeah, but I was in a relationship that was toxic. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying, bro? Relationships different.
Like, you need a pepper cleanse or something.
I know, I am. I'm going through that right now. Trust me, I'm purging. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Like every day, like I don't know, 7, 8 in the morning, there was a guy that just walked past the shop walking 2 parrots on his shoulder.
No way.
And everyone knew this Donny. Everyone's that's the parrot guy.
It's the parrot guy. Yeah, absolutely. Those are the kind of people who I feel like have found joy in their lives. Like they're just like peace with themselves.
Them people for me have unlocked like some.
They just don't care. They don't care. They just do what they want, which I feel like is what life should be. Like sometimes I look at people who have like unique styles and stuff, and I'm like, bro, why shouldn't you be allowed to walk around wearing what you want to wear? You know what I mean? As long as it's appropriate. Why shouldn't you be able to express yourself?
Follow the rules, but like bend the rules to your own liking.
Bend the rules to your own liking. Why shouldn't you be able to present yourself how you want to? Like a couple of summers ago, I started wearing like very like clothes that maybe I'd wear back home and stuff. Like tried to wear that's like very loose fitting. So I'm wearing that out because who's gonna check me? Do you know what I mean? I feel comfortable with this.
I had this, so I would have worn it today if it wasn't at my uncle's house. But I have this sombrero from Colombia. But come summer, sombrero.
Now why do I have to wait to be back home or in a hot to wear it?
If I like it, I'll wear it. No, facts. So I think those people have figured it out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like you just do what you want.
You just do what you want.
You do what like is
you
true
live for
to
truth.
you. Yeah, it's about being honest and truthful. You know
when you look in the mirror, you're happy with what you see. Which I think is so hard in today's society. Like it's really hard to chip away at yourself and try to like look how everyone looks. Like I used to get onto myself a little bit because I'm like, I don't look like the black girl who's I don't look like that. Why do I look like that? Like, try to force it, but I don't.
I've been through that too, though, man. I've been through that too, man.
I'm
currently trying to leave as much of that as I can behind. I feel like I left some of it, but like
I've always found like you quite, in terms of fashion, I've always found you quite like. I've always been quite like even today as I was getting dressed to leave, I was like, what should I wear, man? One's one dress is very nice. I was like, what should I wear for this?
I'm not even dressed.
Like, how should I dress? It doesn't even matter. It's the way you put clothes together. Right. Do you get what I mean? Right. It just makes sense. It looks good.
I appreciate that.
Like, what do you think I should wear? What's gonna be stylish? Like I've always appreciated your sense of dressing.
That. But like the thing that I'm trying to leave behind though is that I can appreciate that, and I think I've always been open to expressing myself differently and dressing, but I always take inspiration from like current trends or like inspiration from like what I might see in other people and blah blah blah, and I think it looks sick. I want to try it, make it work for myself type thing. But now I kind of just want to be like, nah, man. Whatever I want to do, I'll do that. I don't want to be too influenced now by the outside, and I feel like I'm starting to let go of that now.
But if you like something, you like something. Nothing is new under the sun. Like everything's been done before. You're gonna see something on someone and think, oh, I like that. I want to wear that. Do you know what I mean? You can make your own road. It doesn't have to be a copy and paste of someone's outfit. But if you see a piece you like,
facts.
Do you know what I mean? Grab it. Why not?
Facts.
Why not?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah. Interesting. You saying should we leave it there then?
Yeah.
Be yourself, innit? Be true.
When do you think? Oh, was that the end of the?
No, go on.
When do you think you're gonna try dating again?
Oof, that's a good question, man. So I'm not opposed to anybody walking into my life now. I feel like the little that I've been blessed to figure out has been monumental in changing a lot of my outlooks on life. And I feel like those massive changes that I've undertaken in this short span of time have allowed me to believe that, like, cool, if someone walks into my life, I think I can hold it down. Yeah. But with those changes though, comes those requirements now that I would like from a partner. And not to say that this is what I expect from you, I'm not going to give it back to you. Those requirements that I expect from you come from me implementing those in my life and actually taking those upon myself to do, innit? So I think I'm not opposed to the idea of dating. Yeah. I just have to be incredibly wary of who I let
Who
in.
you're letting in.
You know what I'm saying? Like very wary. It's not a thing where it's like I can meet someone and a month later it's like, right, cool.
Right,
man,
yeah, but
I got to meet you and like you got to show me over a period of like God knows how long.
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
Like, I think I know you.
Yeah.
Well, I think I know enough now. You know what I mean? I think I know enough where it's like, I can venture. But when I think I'll start dating, I think whenever that person comes through and shows me that like you not meet my requirements, but you and I land on the same floor on a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's like, right, cool.
I think it's important to acknowledge in your partner that when it gets to that point is that even if they are missing aspects of, you know, these ideals that you've learned for yourself and that you're giving them, that you're dating each other and you have to teach your partner. And I think you should never refrain from speaking about, you know, everything. Just speak about everything. Like sometimes, again, I think I'm TMI. Like, so I've had to ask me, like, oh, would you prefer if I didn't ask you certain questions? If I didn't say certain things to you? And it's important to. I think he said what? He said, no, I don't mind. Because it's important to just share what's on your mind.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? No matter how weird or silly you might think it is, it might be the dumbest thing. But I think it's always important to just say what's on your mind to your partner. And I think definitely when the time comes, date with an open mind.
All right, let's not end it here. Let's carry on.
And I just want to acknowledge, like, I think in terms of like dating and being a little whore, you've come such a
damn, thanks, man.
You've come such a long way, right? And I really want to appreciate you because in terms of our friendship group, with all you boys, I really do value you all as people, and I think you're
saying I lost that value for a second.
No, I don't think you ever lost. I think you still had the values. I mean, I think you still had your shoulders on your head. Do you know what I mean? I think you still had sense, but you allowed enjoyment to get the best of you. 100%. But in terms of a group of boys, like, I think I respect you all so much, and I was saying this like my nail tech recently that I talk about you lot to my nail tech. I said that I respect you lot so much because you respect yourselves. Right. Like I don't see really any faults in you guys. You have your faults. You have your faults. Yes, you have your faults. Yes, but as men, right? I think you are stand-up men. Like I just cannot. Cannot appreciate you all enough because I just feel like we've all seen each other grow up in it, and I can't ever say any of you have ever done anything like on a madness where I'd have to like reproach you. Right. I feel like you're respectful people. You're someone who you guys are people who like I would want Michael to learn from your characters. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like I have no issue with my little brother being around you guys because you guys are valuable to me. Like I would, in respect to what men should be, in conversations of like, you know, do people talk to their men in their life, or do you reproach them for certain behaviors? You guys don't even exhibit those behaviors in the first place, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like you guys are all, as a group of boys, like very, I don't know what the word is, but you're very like, you're good people. Just stood on good moral ground. Yeah. Great morals, like great values. And I even had like a really in-depth conversation with Tariq recently. What is it? Like, we just broached. There was just some stuff between me and him that needed to be addressed. That needed to be addressed, and we had that conversation. But I think even the fact that you can have that conversation with someone and iron those things out, because there's not a lot of people that you can. I was saying that it's important that we're not just fake with. We don't just link up and then have fun and then not feel like we can approach certain conversations with each other. Because then, do we have a genuine friendship then? Yeah, it's not really. We're just pretending with each other. So I think it's important when something does come up, like I said, that we are able to address it and go, you've done this and I don't like that, or I don't think this is okay. And I don't think I would ever have an issue with ever reproaching any of you and feeling like you wouldn't take that on board and correcting your behaviour. That is just to say that I really do value you guys, and I think you guys are great people. Not appreciate just that, even man. If you weren't my friends, you're just great people. Appreciate not that, to blow up your head. Appreciate and I feel like the journey that you've taken on since this most recent breakup has really benefited you. It's really benefited you, and I feel like it's just gonna make you a better person.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Likewise, I give that back to you still. I think you're very, how can I say this? Independent thinker, fam. This is something that I've made clear to you quite, especially very recently, that I think you're able to think for yourself. And I don't think people appreciate how much of a tough job that actually is. Because I think a lot of people nowadays are just told what to think and they run with it. You know what I mean? And it's important that you actually think for yourself. Like, you really take your time out to analyze and figure things out and say, what do I believe in? You know what I mean? Like, and I think you're somebody.
And I have my beliefs.
Yeah, man. I think you're somebody that's very like firm by what you believe in, and I can appreciate that a lot.
Thank you.
And I think you offer a lot to our friendship group, not just your jokes. But
I've come a long way.
Yeah, for real. No, man, and I think even just being able to sit down and have conversations like this with you are invaluable. You know what I mean? You gain so much from that, and there's not many females in my life that I can sit down and have conversations like this with. Especially see things from a female perspective
and vice versa.
Yeah, man. So I can appreciate that a lot.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Compliment.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Don't let it get to your head too much though, innit? Same way I all let it get to mine. But yeah, no, facts. There was something that you said that I wanted to speak about. I think it was on the idea of when you said that you should also be willing to teach your partner certain things. I agree with you, but I don't know how much I agree with you.
Yeah.
Just because I think it depends on how much that person's willing to learn and take it on.
Yeah, 100%.
And I do also think that, like, going back onto what you said, where you don't want your relationship to be like a mother-son, father-daughter type thing. Like, you don't want to constantly be having to tell this person what to do and teaching them the right thing.
But that's when you know to lock it off.
True.
Like, how many times am I gonna? But that makes me a big hypocrite, because I've had so many times when, like, I've said that exact statement to be, how many times do I need to tell you? And again, but then
I think you just got to figure out where your line gets drawn. There's no universal line.
There's no universal line.
There's my line.
There's no universal line. So I hear you on, you just might have a shorter fuse than I do. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
You might just have. You've been in more relationships than I've been in as well.
Yeah, but yours is overall longer.
No, mine is overall longer, but you have more dating experience. So you know what you're at this point, what you're non-negotiable. Mine is just with one person.
I want to say something that's like, how's that possible though? Like, even though you might think that I've had more dating experience, I look back at majority of it.
Yeah. You've had more dating experience because you've been with different people. You've been with different characters. You've been with different. They're not all the same. They might all look pretty similar, but they're not all the same. They're not all the same people. They're not all the same people.
Yeah, maybe I can't categorize them all to be the same individuals, but like, they all exhibit very similar traits, and they all exhibit very similar like values and characteristics, where like, if I look back at the relationship, what I took from all of them, I could have just taken from one.
That is so crazy.
So for me, it's just like, bruv, like, even though I might have more dating experience, it's like, bruv.
But then isn't that a reflection on you? And
100%, 100%. That's why now I'm on a little bit. That's why I'm trying to find me a little wifey that's just different. No, man, look, like, it's, you know what it comes from as well? It does come from me. Like, I have to look back and think to myself, like, why is it that all the lessons that I learned from all of them, I could just learn from one person, And it's because, bruv, man was just chasing us, fam. You know what I mean? I was chasing looks, but I was chasing like this person will look good next to me. You know what I mean? And like this person's a fun time too. Yeah. So not only do you look good, but you're also a fun time. And it's like, that's lit, that's nice. And that is something that you can enjoy, like, part of your time with momentarily, but like, in the long run, like, what value does that bring to you?
But your partner can look good besides you, right? But you're just compatible inwardly as well. Like, who said your partner can't look good next to you?
No, facts. Like, I still want, don't get it twisted, I still want to look at my partner and be like,
because attraction is important.
Yeah, but like, I also now have a different appreciation for like your values, your morals, and like the things that you actually stand for. Because a lot of people can say I stand for this, that, and the next, but if your actions don't show otherwise, because actions are what define a person, not what you say. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Like, then, I don't know. It's just not gonna work.
It's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. I think you move past a certain age where it's just like, like you said, the physicalness of it all, the aesthetics of it isn't what's important anymore. You get to an age where you want to build a strong foundation.
That's it.
I think for me, I was just a lover girl. Like I had multiple crushes. I've been crushing on someone this week and that week, but B is just the crush that grew.
That's it, man. You just find the one. Some people are lucky you find it straight away.
You just find it straight away. Like I hear his siblings say it to us all the time. Like, oh, you guys are so lucky you found it straight away.
You find it straight away, man.
It took a couple of ugly ducklings. Yeah. It took a couple of ugly ducklings. But when you notice that person and then you put the time into that person,
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
like there's no definition.
I had to run into a brick wall
a couple times.
Man. But that's a reflection of myself though, man. That's just like I never had my head screwed on properly. Although I had like the right idea of like my morals and values and stuff, I never really implemented it because I never really like demanded that from like the person I was seeing, because that wasn't something that I demanded from myself. You know what I mean? Like, I said it to myself, but did I actually act out those things and act upon those things? Oh no, man.
No. You have to actualize the relationship. Like you have to, again, it sounds so simple, but you have to build the relationship.
Yeah. Man.
It's work. And it's not work like it's, oh mate, I'm tired. It's just a bit of work.
Yeah, it's like fix this thing, like, onto the next one.
Onto the next one. Not even onto the next one. Yeah. I don't know. It's effort, but it's not effort like, oh, I don't want to put in this effort.
And I think it makes it easier when it's a collaborative effort, though. Not when it's like me against you, you against me.
Yeah.
It's us two against the issue, us two against the world type thing. That was something that I also thought, like, had like deep thoughts about.
Yeah.
Because I think when you tend to look at it from it's a me against you or you against me type thing. Like, let's say there's an issue between you and it's like, yo, you did this wrong and you need to apologize, and you go after that person.
Yeah.
You box yourself in.
Yeah.
And like everything around you just doesn't exist or like doesn't matter. It's just very boxed in, and like that boxing in is like a negative space to be in, because you're only going after your partner. You're not trying to, you know what I mean?
Work it out with them. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of relationships have their downfall.
Yeah, facts.
Going after your partner rather than thinking, oh, this is we are in this together. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Once you start I-ing, I think, it's a wrap. I think it's a wrap.
Yeah, facts, man.
I think it's a wrap.
God damn.
But I don't know, man. Once you find the one, you find the one, innit? Your little farmer girl.
My little farmer. My little villager.
Oh, to start your, what's it called? A stead, right? A stead? It's like when people who kind of go off the grid a little bit.
Oh,
and then
yeah. I'm telling you, man, I'm super close.
Do you know what I always thought would be cool? That I always said to be if we'd all bought a big house together and just
all lived in one massive house.
Yeah,
I think that would be chaos, bro.
It would be chaos, but that would have also been fun.
If one relationship struggles in one house, imagine having that many under the same roof.
Yeah, but then we would all call everyone together and say, okay, we need to mediate this.
Maybe we could all live in the same village.
Yeah, bro, I came up with the idea, yeah. Okay, it would never work. But I was like, oh, what if every like little borough had like a farm, had a bakery, had, I don't know, like...
I think that's a good idea, you know?
Right? And then that's where you get your produce from. That's where you get your produce from. And like every borough has that. Yeah. Garden, and everyone helps. And in that way, you know where your produce is coming from. Like,
you know what? Here's the issue. I think it's a good idea, yeah, but then I think it gets techie where, like, you know how you get some people that's like, I like it done this
absolutely.
Way, like,
I don't want halal.
Yeah. You can't put the tomatoes next to the lettuce. Yeah, no. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's where we get techie, but I think it's a good idea though, man, because then that way you don't have to worry about, like, I don't know, killing yourself.
You
can just be like, no.
I mean, you wouldn't need Tesco, we wouldn't need all these big supermarkets because our communities will be self-sufficient.
That's it.
My neighbours, they're not the nicest neighbours, but they grow their own stuff. They have
like, even though it's self-sufficient and it works, like, it just doesn't work for
everyone, yeah, because everyone's so
because
finicky.
money's what circulates.
Oh yeah,
the world,
100%.
innit?
Capitalism would never allow
Yeah,
that to be
man.
a thing. But also, my area is full of like vegetation. Like B gets onto
Is
me
it?
about it, but I'm eating fruits off trees around here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, one time I was in Hampstead Heath
Yeah,
with Sebo,
yeah.
and we was tripping off shrooms, innit? And I was having this like
That's the third drug that's been mentioned today.
true, man. I was having this crazy like moment of nostalgia. Like I was going through like a deja vu type thing where in the park I realized, oh, I've been here before as a kid.
Oh,
Yeah. So I
love moments like
I
that.
used to go to a youth club as a kid, yeah. And one of the trips that they took us on was to this. Like I remember it being to this like park forest type place.
Yeah.
And like we rented out mountain bikes and we just went mountain biking through
Sick.
this place.
Yeah.
And I always like growing up and fairly recently before I went Hampstead. I always used to think about that, and I used to think, bro, where is that place that I went mountain biking like
what
as
the
a
hell?
kid? Yeah. And then one day, like me and Seb were just there tripping and flipping. I stood still and I was like, yo, I've been here.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, no, like we came here last summer like, to like do the baby ponds. I was like, no.
Oh.
I was like, I've been here, bro. Like I remember coming here as a kid.
Yeah.
With the youth club, mountain biking. Then we walked to some spot and I was like, bro,
this is it.
I remember being a kid cycling down this way and trying to go up that hill and everyone was trying to do it. And as I was explaining it, some kid on his bike came and just started doing it.
You sure he was real?
But yeah, he was. And then we started walking around. I was like, bro, I remember this bit. You go down there, down there there's berries in a bush that you can pick from and you can eat. I remember doing it as a kid. He was like, nah, you're capping. I was like, bro, I swear it down. Started walking down. I was like, bro, look. There's the bush and there's the berries. I picked one. I was like, eat it. He's like, no. I was like, all right, I'll eat it.
The person eats the berries.
I ate the berry. He's like, all right, cool, I'll try it. He tried it as well. We just picked a few more and ate it and then carried on our way. Bro, it was a crazy moment, crazy nostalgic moment. But where's the produce here?
Bro, I'll come down to my area. When things start growing, I'll let you know.
You got to let me know. I'll come and just...
I always like, whenever I go to the Sainsbury's near mine, if I have a cup on me, I'll just put the berries in there. Fam, just pick them through. There's an apple tree right next to it. What? There's grapes that grow on one of my neighbours, but they never like look after it, so it never grows fully. We had the plum trees, gone now. The next door neighbours, they've got plums. They've got a bunch of stuff that falls over. Yeah, absolutely. Mate.
Oh, is this from the back garden?
So there's certain stuff in the back garden, but some of them is literally just down here, down the road. We might actually walk past it. You know when we were coming down here? Oh, did we walk past the Sainsbury's? I don't think we walked past the Sainsbury's. Yeah, we did. We went by the Sainsbury's. Yeah, we went past a couple bushes, but the blackberry tree, we walked past it. But there's crab apples. Have you had a crab apple?
Crab apple? No, I had a custard apple though.
Custard? Oh no, I've not had a custard apple. Wait, the green and then you peel it and it's got black seeds inside in it.
Yeah,
that's my little brother's favourite fruit. Yeah. My one gets it from the market.
Yeah, they're crab
East Street Market, crab apples. What did I learn at TikTok? Because I always used to see them. You've seen them. You know what they look like. There's random trees that are planted around London, and they like got these tiny little apple-looking things on them. They're like red. You've definitely seen them because they're everywhere. And I've always seen them and I've always wondered, can you eat them? Saw it on TikTok, you can eat them. And then I started picking them with Michael after school.
Alright, calm. You got to show me this thing,
on them. Absolutely.
I got to be a little bit more resistant.
When it's a bit summery, when the sun's out, because obviously we're getting there. Once they all start growing, I'll shout you. Aveen's always asking me to shout her to come and pick some.
Oh yeah, subject to Aveen. Let's do the trek then.
Let's do the trek.
Yeah. Let's do the trek. I'll be down for that still.
Yeah, go trekking again. That's what. Wait, do you remember DOV?
Yeah.
When where was that they took us for you do like the prelim before the actual trek. The practice trek. They took us to Wales.
Yeah.
And we had to climb up to that place and we all took pictures up there.
Mountain.
Do you remember? Yeah, the mountain. Tell me that it wasn't dangerous. Because the edge of the mountain, if you fell, that was it, you were dead. Tell me that wasn't dangerous. I don't think it was
like that though.
Really? Like in my head, when I remember it.
Do you remember the path back? You know the path back was just so easy to walk down.
No, when I think about this thing, I think about danger. That's all I could have.
Danger is climbing up, bruv. The cliff, not the cliff edges, the mountain edges, climbing up to viewpoints when I was in like different countries. That's different.
That's different.
That's dangerous.
That's different. My thing is that we
But
had
that
no
was
harnesses
calm.
or nothing, and then you're literally just at the edge of the cliff, and then
Yeah,
just,
but
if you slip off the
don't
dirt,
need it though, because it's not steep. You don't have to do like crazy
I
climbing.
guess it's like winding,
it's
but
calm.
when I think back to like younger me, yeah, like I was very fearless. But now I just think like even when we came up to sit up here, and I was like, oh, I don't like it.
So this is also another part of like the secret to life is. So if you read the Bible a lot, yeah, there's a common theme where it's like, Jesus says that you should receive him as he receives little ones, as children, or like he says, I can't remember, something along the lines of like, blessed are those who are like babe-like. And babe-like is like being childlike and all that sort of stuff. And it's the idea that like you should just do things, and when you do things, as a kid, you're. I was thinking about this today in yoga, fam. This is crazy.
That's so serendipitous. Is that the word?
I don't know. So. That's a crazy word though. It's the idea that like the reason why they say to do it as a kid or to do it childlike or to receive him as a childlike or like whatever it might be, is because when kids do things, they're not restricted by the limitations of fear and the limitations of being judged. So as an adult, you lose that ability. Or like just very subconsciously
because you learn what those things are.
Yeah, but then you also learn to not live life.
Yeah.
So in order for you to come back around and live life again and really experience life properly and fully, is you need to take on all experiences and not limit yourself to being scared or like having that fear of judgment. You know what I'm saying? And I think once you learn that and you implement that, you unlock like a different level of life, bro. 100%. And it's the same idea of you starting to wear different things because you're just like, who cares?
Who cares?
So once you start doing that with other things, or once you start doing that with the things that you try and explore.
Like I think back and I'm like, bro, like I was trekking through mud, like touching moss, touching dirt. And I didn't care. It was fun. And then now I look at shit.
You say, yeah, but you got to come away from that again. You got to go back to what you was like a child. You didn't die. You're still here?
I'm still here.
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
it's been years later. I'm still breathing. In fact, I did it a second time because, do you know what I mean? Did it multiple times because I was having fun. It was do you know what I mean? But now it's just like, there's so much thought that goes into every little thing that you do. And I acknowledge that because exactly what you say, like, I don't approach everything with a childlikeness anymore. And I acknowledge that and I try to not do it when I acknowledge it. Like sometimes I'll be on the bus and I'm hearing kids screaming and shouting, and then I tell myself, oh, but like once upon a time,
that was you too. That was you too. And they're probably just like experiencing their experience to their full capability. They
don't care and they live in life, you know what I mean, free. Like maybe I'll see people out clubbing and they're skinned out and I'm like, you're cold. But who am I you did that. What are you talking about? Like, who am I to say she's cold? I was cold when I was doing it. So it's the little judgments that we put on things as we get older. And I'm trying to acknowledge that and step away from that because I don't want to be some miserable old lady, some Karen. You can't play music in the park. Right, I was playing music in the park. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe that's the Karens that never grew out.
They
allowed themselves to grow into it and just didn't really think, oh shit.
They reside into it. And I also want to like, obviously one day when I have kids, I want to acknowledge the fact that they are young and not take away from the fact that, you know, like, I want to protect them. But
you also got to let them. That's the story of, what's the guy who God called to sacrifice his son?
Oh, is it?
Abraham or Jacob.
Is it Abraham? It is Abraham. I think it is Abraham.
So when God calls him to sacrifice his son at the top of the hill, and he's like, it's my only son, but God's telling me to do it anyway. So he goes up to the hill and he's about to kill him. And God's like, one sec, no man, it's cool. You don't got to do it no more. I just got to test you. I just got to test you.
It's a little test.
It's the idea that for parents, in order for parents to have to, how can I word this properly? In order for parents to have their children forever, in order for parents to like know that their kid is gonna be there for them forever, they gotta sacrifice them first. So you gotta let that kid like go and explore the world and experience life, and you gotta prepare the kid for everything that's gonna come, but you gotta let him go do it.
I'm gonna take my first good maybe 12 years Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like once kids hit 13 or whatever,
Yeah, that's when they start becoming a bit like
maybe 14, I'll push it to 15.
But the point is you gotta let them go experience
You
it
gotta
because
let
then
them experience it.
after the experience that they gain is so big that
Yeah.
they'll probably have a different appreciation for it. Then
Yeah.
they come back around full circle and say, yo, I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
I like treasure you, whatever,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm grateful for you, whatever it is, and
absolutely.
you get your kid back in.
Absolutely.
You get your kid back forever.
You get your kid back forever, yeah.
So that's that story still.
Yeah.
That's that story.
I think, yeah, definitely. You know, when you grow up, you just, I don't know, you start thinking about those things of how you want to be when you're a certain age. You know what I mean?
Age, man.
Every time I think about age, like I'm always above. You know what you just did there? Oh, age. I do that every day. Once a day, I have that moment when I think, oh, age. Like, why? And it takes me back to English in secondary school. Time.
Let me double check this is still on though. Mine's on yours as well. Yeah, come.
Time is a what is it? Social construct. Time being a social construct, that time isn't real. But
you was gonna say that, but I was gonna say time is of the But yeah, time is a social construct.
Time is a social construct, but also time is very real. And like, as sad as it sounds, we don't have much of it. I can't imagine myself being 70. Do you know what I mean? I'm young. I'm young. I'm just a baby.
Yeah, it's true.
I can't imagine myself being 70. I can't imagine myself being 80. I can't imagine myself maybe being 90 one day. Like, to me, that's so far away, but it's inevitable. Sometimes I feel like, is it better to just never know that age? But then also, like,
no, man, I'm excited for that age.
I want to grow, you know, I want to have all the grandkids.
I'm excited for that age.
But then my grandkids are never going to know how cool I was.
Why not? You can still be 70 and cool.
Yeah, but I'm never going to be, they'll never look at me and go, oh yeah, like, grandma, do you want to go clubbing? Maybe, I don't know. But it's never going to be, it's never going to be how I am now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wish I could be, like, I've always thought to myself, it would be so cool if everyone got to like a certain age and you got to pick what age you want to be frozen at. And then that's the age you are at. You age every year, but you just look like that age forever.
No, but you know what? I think you shouldn't limit yourself already to thinking that when you're that age, you're not going to be like that. Because I think if you speak that now, you probably
speak it to I wouldn't speak it to
because how many, like, I know, okay, maybe I don't know them personally, but I've seen people that are like 70, 80, and bro, they're still young and youthful and playful and like.
But with age comes all the changes, though. It comes with loss and it comes with.
Yeah, but that's what makes you though. Like all those changes is what gives you more wisdom, more knowledge, more power, more experience, more like. I think more gratitude towards life.
Yeah, I definitely think, but it also makes life very scary because it's just like. One day you just won't have it and
yeah, but you don't know what's next.
Exactly, which is why, you know, like obviously religion plays into it heavily, where I do believe that there is more after. I do want to have faith in that,
and if you do have faith in that, you should be in a way looking forward to that.
It's change. That's the issue for me. I don't want change. I want this life. I want this life, and I want all the things that come with this life. I want the relationship that comes with life. I want the friends. I want the family that comes with this life. I don't want that to change. It's the one thing, and it's so human, because above that, obviously God knows best, and you know there is greater, there is more, there is better to come. But I'm so happy and complacent in what I have built and what I have. I don't want that to change.
Man, maybe that's something you got to work on, isn't it?
That is something I've got to work on.
You got to embrace change, man. Change is inevitable
still. I know, but it's like, yeah, change is going to happen. Like, you know, like we said before, I'm not going to live at home forever. But that's a change that I want. But a change like never knowing you again, or never knowing my little brother again. Because that's the promise, though. But that's the promise.
Supposedly is that when they also perish, you'll meet them in heaven.
I'll meet them in heaven, but we won't know each other as we are.
Oh, right. Okay,
you know, we won't know each other as we are. Like, it would all be, all really just one body. You know what I mean? It's one essence. even to the extent where sometimes I believe in potentially that people do come back. You come back in a different form. Like I've read things where, like, you know, kids come back and they're like, oh, was this person in my last life?
I've seen
and then
documentaries about that stuff too.
they research and they're like, oh yeah, this is right, it's too accurate. I'm like, yeah, maybe it is true. Maybe we're just eternally recycled, you know, and fair enough. But then they grow up and they don't even remember it. So then there's a new consciousness that takes place. I feel like the brain is just so...
So this is something interesting that I heard on one of the Joe Rogan podcasts, is that your consciousness is not just unique to you, it's an accumulation of human evolution.
Damn.
And consciousnesses that have been. You know what I mean? So that's that goes for the good and the bad. The same way, like, you just have sometimes these innate feelings that's like, oh, I don't know if I should do that. It's not because you've already been there and done it. There's something else that tells you.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And that's like the consciousness of the past.
Yes.
And that also lives within you too, innit?
It's genetic.
Yeah.
It's embedded in us.
Maybe you're not wrong, you know. Maybe maybe you are recycled, but
I'd like to think that my consciousness, because sometimes I feel like I remember how old I was when I realized that I was conscious.
What?
Like, I was like in primary school.
You just woke up one day.
Nah, bro, I was sat on the toilet.
That's a funny
I was sat on the toilet. In my old house, in our toilet, we had like a diagram of the human skeleton.
Right.
And I always used to read it when I was sat on the toilet until I discovered books. And then one day I was just like to myself, like, you know when you hear your voice in your head?
Yeah.
It was so loud. And I was like, wait, what's that? I must have been maybe like 10 or something.
Is it?
Yeah, I think I was like 9 or 10. And it was just like, what's going on? Like, that's kind of what? I was like, I heard me.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, I heard me and I was like, that's scary. Like, what is that? Because I think prior to that, you're just being raised in it. Like, even now with my little brother, he's 11, but like sometimes I hear him speak, right? And he'll say like Sainsbury's or something, and he's like Sainsbury's. Like, he still has the baby switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though he's like 12 now or something, he still speaks in the baby, where I know like he's still being raised. He's still learning, right?
It's like you know you're alive.
Yeah.
Your body's on autopilot though, and you're just
on autopilot.
You're just sitting down and watching right now. Eventually you're gonna be like, all right,
you're awake.
It's time for me to like pick up the steering.
Yeah. At the moment, he's still very much autopilot. But at 10, I woke up.
You were just like, oh.
I was like,
I'm ready to take the reins.
Hold on a minute. Like, there's a person. And it felt like the best example is the Truman Show.
Oh,
have you seen it?
Yeah.
That's the best way I can explain it. Like, prior to that, he was all autopilot. Everything was being controlled and done for him. Then one day he realized that, wait, something's not right. Right? That's my awakening when I had that moment of realization. Found toilet seats, looking at the skeleton, reading, because my favorite word to read was coccyx. It's like the bottom part of the coccyx. For sure. Anyways, it was the coccyx. I was reading that word because I always go to that first, and then I just realized it was mate. Really? Hey. It doesn't even mean that. It means bomb. It means bomb.
Sometimes it's a third, and that third is alcohol, bro.
Alcohol?
Yeah, man.
Food, more like.
Maybe that's just the women that used to surround us.
Maybe, hey, man, again. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so telling. Yeah. Wow.
What shame.
What is it? The sun was out. It was blue outside, which is also my favorite.
The sun is out.
The sun was out at the time when I had the realization, which is also my favorite time of the evening, when it's like summertime, right? And then the sun is sort of setting, and it's just like this orange all over. And it's so just, I don't even know what I'm saying. My favorite place to be when that is happening is in the bath. Not even the toilet seat. The bath is weird. The bath.
Really?
Looking outside of the window.
And just seeing orange.
I'm just seeing orange and like just water running down, like you know. But yeah, on that toilet seat, when I became conscious, I was just like, what else can you do, brain? Like, it was just like, what is this? Like, and then I just started thinking life. I've been thinking about life ever since then. Just so aware. So aware of thinking.
Yeah.
So aware of like everything else that's out there. Like I say this to me. I've only ever had this conversation with B, where I say how claustrophobic I feel being on this planet.
Yeah,
Like,
I get what you mean.
I always feel so, like, when I look up at the sky, I feel so trapped.
Really?
I
Okay,
feel
don't get that.
trapped. Like,
Really?
I feel like the best way to explain it is, you know, in the Simpsons movie, when the
when they
globe
put
gets
the
put
dome
over,
over.
that's
Yeah,
how I always feel like that. I always feel uneasy.
Really?
It's because of the knowledge that there is more out there, but then outside of that blue sky, you can only fly on a plane to another country. Do you get what I mean? But you're always within that blue sky. You can't go out of it unless you're on a spaceship. And even when you do go out of it, you go into a black hole. You go into space.
I think the feeling that I get is the most similar feeling that I can get to that is when I really think about everything. Like when I say everything, I mean like human, Earth, universe. Like I feel minuscule.
Yeah.
I feel like a speck of dust. You know what I mean? That's the feeling that I get. But to say claustrophobic, I don't know. Now that you mention it, like I feel like
you're just so. I'm always just so aware that the sky is above me. Like that is just. That's the ceiling. That's it.
Maybe we should really start this village. Let's start a tribe, innit? Let's start a tribe, man.
No, come, because I don't know.
And
life is just
wisdom.
so...
I think, you know what? I genuinely believe, if we started a village, everyone had their own little heart. And like we just isolated ourselves from all technology and only had conversation. I reckon we would like figure out so much more. The FBI is going to be watching us after this video. I reckon we'd figure it out. Like, we'd figure out so many different things.
We'd make communication with aliens and that.
Probably, who knows?
Yeah, right?
I reckon we'd figure out astrology for ourselves at some point somehow.
No, it's just...
Our ancient ancestors will come through our consciousness and be
there's so much... Well, even little things like when they discover technology, right, from ages ago, and they're like, this is a bit too advanced to be from ages ago.
Oh, but that's a whole different ballgame, man. You need to watch go on Netflix and watch Ancient Apocalypse by this guy called Graham Hancock.
I've seen it. I've seen I've seen a snippet of it on TikTok.
Bruv,
so I need to actually watch the whole thing.
Watch it.
What was it? They discovered a wheel that was too perfect or something.
Yeah,
right?
They discovered a computer that's too old as well. There's like ancient megaliths that are like older than 12,000 years old, and it's like, bro, how did you manage to build this? They think that, well, mainstream archaeology thinks that the pyramids are only like 2,000 to 4,000 years old, but
4,000? Do you know how young that is?
Yeah, but I think like people like Graham Hancock, for example, who's like really doing like groundbreaking things for archaeology, he thinks that it's way older.
Billions. Oh yeah, 100%.
Way older.
100%. I wouldn't say 2,000 to 4,000 years
Maybe
old.
like 4,000 years.
A lot older. Because I generally do think that societies had a lot more. I think it went backwards.
Oh, 100%.
I think it went backwards, and I don't know why it went backwards.
I'll tell you why it went backwards.
Go on.
Because greed.
Oh yeah, no wait, the same story. Yeah, same story.
The life that we live now.
Same story. Like I really wonder what life would be like, for example, pre-slavery, if that never happened. But
slavery's always been around.
Slavery's always been around, but in the magnitude.
Slavery's still around now.
Slavery's still around now. I know that, but in the magnitude that it happened, to become so historic. Do you get what I mean? Like in the magnitude that it happened, in the essence of like one race being enslaved by so many different people. In terms of that, like there's always been a caste system.
I think it's the magnitude or like the gravitas.
The gravitas
of slavery then is more than, let's say, for example, slavery that's recorded in the Bible because it's fairly recent. But like, what's to say that the Egyptians never had more slaves and they probably treated their slaves worse? Or if you look back at like the Aztecs or the Mayans or the Olmecs, when they had their slaves, they used to sacrifice them, bro. Yep. They probably had way more slavery back then too. It's probably just you don't feel it as much because it's not as recent. But
no, the thing with slavery in terms of like when we acknowledge slavery being European countries and African, the transatlantic slavery is literally in the term transatlantic. Whereas, say for example, with the Aztecs, they were all within one ethnic group, right? And it was it was conflict.
Egyptians never enslaved their own though.
It was they enslaved people from. So it's like, okay, someone from
They
southeast.
enslaved the Jews.
It was like, say for example, you're enslaving a group of people, right? In terms of the Jews are within your bounds. It wasn't trans and trans.
Yeah.
That's what made that slavery so different.
Yeah.
It was a group of people going from
like you really went out of your way, bruv.
What's it called? Their continent to a different continent.
Yeah, now I get it.
Packing loads of people to your continent.
Like, the whole idea is that you really went out.
You really went out your way to do it. Do you know what I mean? That's why when people are like, "Oh, slavery always existed." Slavery still exists now. Like in the UK right now, yeah, there are people being held in people's homes as slaves. Yeah, that's not even a joke. That's happening. Yeah, like slavery. That's happening right now. When we talk about that kind of slavery again, yeah, it's trans. I want to say the word so bad.
Transatlantic.
Atlantic, right? It was on that magnitude, and that's that scale. So when you say, "Oh, they went out of their way," they really went out of their way to do that. And that's why it's such a big thing, and that's why I feel like, oh, I don't even want to broach that subject. What you mentioned before about the Egyptians enslaving a certain demographic, right? A certain demographic of people. That's why it's that's why it's such a. It's never on the same. It's never on the same. Okay, well, good conversation, good speech. It's like, Hannah, it's so techie, man. You gotta be careful.
It's never on the same like magnitude as what happened.
Whereas with say for example with Hitler, it was within the country. He wasn't, and within his boundaries. It wasn't. He wasn't going across to other countries and picking up Jews and murdering them en masse. You know.
Right.
And then also in terms of like, it was like a mass murder. But then again with like transatlantic slavery, there was mass murder, and then there was just the enslavement of a group of people for years and years and years without like an end in sight. And then even after that, there's still systematic slavery. There's still a lot of, do you know what I mean? There's still a lot of systems in place that oppress that specific group of people. Whereas in comparison, I don't want to, get into too much. I don't feel like I have the intellectual bounds to really go into it. But in terms of Jews, their torture and their pain has been acknowledged, and there has been retribution to that in terms of society has paid back a lot to them and has apologized a lot, and it's still to this day they're awarded a lot of leniency. Like they have their own communities. What do you mean you're living in a country and you have your own rules and laws, and do you know what I mean? Whereas when the same can't be said for survivors of slavery.
Here's the issue with stuff like that though, is I feel like when you give people certain leniencies like that, and when you give too much attention to changing it now, I feel like you're still making a point of it. And I feel like that's why it doesn't go away. So for example, when people are like, hold on. Let me word this quickly.
You gotta think about it.
The protests against like institutions for oppressing black people and like black people, maybe not black people, but like just everyone in general, like really fighting for this cause. And it's like, yo, but you don't oppress like African Americans, you don't oppress black people, like you don't really have like your shit set against them and blah blah blah. If you take a step back and look at society today, fair enough, like there might still be some form of oppression going on. You have to acknowledge the truths, Maybe there are still some forms of oppression going on. However, though, are your opportunities more or less the same as everybody else's? Maybe. And if you want to get a little bit more specific, let's say, for example, are your opportunities the same as your neighbor who happens to be white? Maybe you could say yes. Are your opportunities the same as a white person who lives in Chelsea? Maybe not. But maybe that's not down to race no more. Maybe that's down to class. Maybe that's down to something else. So if you keep highlighting the fact that like, yo, but we was enslaved, we was oppressed, we was oppressed, we was oppressed, we was oppressed. The issue will never go away.
It's easy to say what you're saying, right? I think a lot boils down, like, I think sometimes it's very futile as being from that demographic, right, to have these conversations, because you can't feel that hurt. Do you get what I mean? Like, it might not even be me. Like, you know, I've never been a slave, but it carries over to that group of people. You feel each other's hurt because you're from the same demographic.
Right.
You will experience microaggressions of microaggressions stemming from that culture of oppression. Yeah. So to say that, like, what are you saying? To say that you still...
to say that if you keep highlighting the issue, but the issue isn't the same anymore, you're not letting that issue go away. You're not being able to move on from it now. You're not being able to do the things that you actually need to do. I want to be so
diplomatic when I say it. When we were speaking about Jews before, they had to, and even now, they will still reference what happened, right? But I don't think anyone ever turns around and says to them, "Oh, can you stop talking about it now?" So we always acknowledge it. Then in terms of Black people, right?
It's always that, just leave it.
It's always just leave it now. And then in terms of, okay, right, it's happened. Let's build our own communities and do our own things, right? In order to build our people up, create these opportunities for ourselves. Like, historically, when that was the narrative, right, who would swoop in and destroy it? Whole towns and cities were burnt down. Like, Black people will create a town and city for themselves, work for themselves. They'll come in, literally kill people, shut it down. Yeah,
this argument that you've raised up though about the two different...
It's the way that two different people are being treated. I can tell you why.
Fuck it, is what it is. The reason why, and the reason why they get the pass where it's like, just leave it now. Sorry, where they're not told, just leave it now, just leave it now. Is because, unfortunately, remember I told you money makes the world go around?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're the ones that move the most.
Money makes the world go round, and also aesthetically, they fit a group of victims that people want to help. I think
that is due to the fact that
sociologically and criminologically, that is a fact, because in terms of being the perfect victim, right, there is literally a description for the perfect victim. For a female, it would be blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin, and maybe age sometimes plays a factor. Doesn't always have to be blonde hair, blue eyes, but it could be a white brunette child, Madeleine McCann, whose money's been churned into it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas there are children of minority ethnic groups that are been missing. No one gives a toss. There's no money being churned into that. Do you get what I mean? So victims have to have a certain look for people to want to help them. Do you know what I mean? It has to appeal to the majority, and Black people don't appeal to the majority because the people who oppress them don't look like them. So why would you want to help people who don't look like you? You're more inclined to help someone who looks like you.
Yeah, this world is lost.
It is lost.
That's crazy.
It is lost. Like, imagine sometimes when people turn around and, you know,
oh,
they died. Yeah. No, but let's continue the conversation.
Right, so this is my third take doing this. It's getting a bit frustrating. But basically, I just wanted to make a service announcement in it. So this is the first one, and it won't be the last one, unfortunately. But basically, the mic died. So I'm pretty sure you figured it out because you can hear me say, oh, the mic died, just as I cut the video off. So from here on forward, I did end up finishing the podcast, but only recording it from my phone. So the audio quality is not great. There's a lot of crackling in the background, which I tried to remove, and I did the best that I could, you know what I'm saying, with my limited resources. But I wanted to keep that portion of the podcast in, so I still wanted to include it because, like, everything that Françoise talks about is, I mean, yeah, there's a lot to take in, and a lot of it is from personal experience, so I didn't want to leave that out. However, though, because the audio is terrible, feel free to, you know, cut the podcast if that's not something that you want to listen to afterwards just because of the audio. No hard feelings, but again, like, I would advise to continue. There's a lot of things that Françoise speaks about that, my goodness. Yeah, eye-opening for sure. So I wanted to keep that portion of the podcast in. So yeah, without further ado, this is the very last part of the podcast with Françoise.
But yeah, go on, carry on.
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to bring up those even the little microaggressions.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's really like even in my job, like I can't say too much, but sometimes a lot of things have come up about how race has played a part in people's roles in the job and stuff, right?
Right.
So when people ask me like, "Oh, you've never experienced this in the job," I feel inclined to say I've not experienced it from my colleagues, but I've experienced it from members of the public.
Yeah.
And when it has happened, I found that my colleagues have been mad supportive. They've been, you know, adverse to the use of like the N-word towards me. Like they've stood 10 toes and said you shouldn't have it. But that doesn't negate the fact that another black colleague or another Asian colleague or another Hispanic colleague or another minority colleague could be having those experiences from colleagues.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can't speak on everyone's experience just because one black girl is telling me, "Oh yeah, no one."
Yeah, my experience is cool. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? My experience has been chill, but I've also only been there for about 2 years. So who's to say that tomorrow I'm not going to come across someone who's going to, you know...
I'm already 2 years.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, though. I hear what you're saying.
Who's to say tomorrow I won't come across someone who's going to treat me like shit, who's going to be misogynistic towards me, who's going to be racist towards me, and I might have to just smile and take it. Like, I might have to just go, oh, okay. Like, my uni experience, my first year in uni, my flatmates were racist towards me. You remember when you guys came to visit?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you slept in my room?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was inappropriate in my bed.
Me?
Yeah.
What did I do in your bed?
Inappropriate in my bed with one of your many exes. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I remember that.
I was having the worst time of my life. Like, I was depressed. I would be cooking like food at like 3-4 a.m. in the morning, so I didn't have to run into anyone.
Really?
I'd like run into the shower, like I'd stand at my door because it was a shared shower, and I'd stand at my door to just make sure that no one was home before or listen out to make sure everyone had left, look out my window to make sure everyone was home and I was home alone to avoid them all. Like, I was having the worst time of my life. I was so depressed because every day it was, so I got called a slave by one of my flatmates' boyfriends. We were on the same course, so we were like, "Oh, let's do this work together." We went downstairs.
What? Portsmouth? Is it
Yeah,
Portsmouth?
Portsmouth. Went downstairs to his flat and just said, "Oh guys, look, I found a slave outside Tesco." I just had to make up some excuse. I fully would have just sat down and just carried on with him, but one of his flatmates, another white guy's, you can't say that to her. And I was like, "Oh, I forgot something upstairs." Went back upstairs and do it, went back down. They would draw on my door like slurs and shit. Took a picture of me one time, put a monkey on my shoulder. It's stuff like that. But when they're called out on it, the reproach is, "Oh, I didn't know you were her. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was wrong."
Yo, that's
What do you mean calling me a slave isn't wrong? Like playing, you know the song, I don't know, I think it might be Biggie. Like, nigga. Is it Biggie?
I don't know who it is, but I know.
Yeah. I'll be in the kitchen, slap that on. "Oh, your food smells. What are you cooking today?" I'd literally just be a hot dog first. That smells. What is that? Like, can't eat in peace. That's what I was cooking at 3 a.m. in the morning. Sis was getting big because I couldn't have a structure because I spent a lot of my time anxiety-induced trying to avoid them. Oh my gosh, sometimes I need to pee, but they're in the kitchen, I'm there in the room, like, burst. I'm pretty sure I ruined my bladder from that. Like, I'm bursting to wee, I'm thinking, bro. Like, so much anxiety, I couldn't even leave my room.
So, like, what was that the measures that you took against all of that? Did no one ever just like call them up and was like, "Yo"?
No, I told my mom after I left. I moved out there that had happened.
And what did your mom
like 2 years later, she's like, he didn't say anything. I was like, bro, that wasn't. This
all
one
kind of
incident.
things.
One incident. Everyone was going out clubbing or something. Not me. They were going out clubbing.
Yeah.
Met them downstairs. We were having a chill night, and they asked me to twerk for them.
Show us how it's done.
Show us! Is this how you do it, Fran? Twerk, sir! What, I'm your dancing puppet now? Like, what do you mean? Personal, you know.
You know what's so crazy is that, like, you wouldn't think this stuff happens, especially with the younger generations. And I feel like, you know, part of me does feel like those are the people that go to all the BLM marches.
Oh, yeah.
I
I don't even know, because I just never, it was just completely blindsided me when it started happening.
Were they from London?
One was from Guernsey, her boyfriend was from Wales.
This is why I don't.
But they had black friends, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but then what are those black friends like? Right?
They're what you call coconuts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're the ones that, what, Patrick?
Yeah.
But
these are people who were studying law, studying careers where you think, bro, like, you're going to engage with a lot of people, and this is how you behave. Do you know what I mean? It was so concerning. And I never even told, I don't think I even told B until I left. I didn't know who to talk to. Like Brian, I remember one pancake day, Brian came up and we all put together, we all like, we were chilling with them. When I told Brian like years later, he was like, what? And he was like, I didn't even notice. I was like, yeah, but I didn't say anything. Like, it hurt so much because I just felt like, is it me? Because I blame myself a bit. I was like, maybe I'm not seeing the funny side of it. But then back then as well, I just felt like I wasn't confrontational. I didn't know how to stand up for myself. Too tough. And when later on, I think it was during lockdown, when a lot of things were, when what's his face had been murdered. Forgetting that guy in America. Oh, this is so bad. George Sutton.
Oh, this is terrible.
It's terrible for me.
Damn,
George Sutton. It'll come to us after. When he'd been murdered, and everyone was talking about their experiences, and I posted George Floyd. Oh, what done? Yeah. When he died, everyone was posting their racist experiences and stuff, and I posted their stuff. I covered their faces because I took videos and stuff like that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I took pictures and videos of everything, like whenever it happened. Yeah, I posted it and they saw it, and I would get apologies and that. We just thought it was funny.
Say word.
I wasn't laughing. I was laughing to not cry.
Yeah.
I'm by myself with you lot. And then if the thing is that when I moved in, someone had moved out. That should have been a red flag. Someone had just moved out of the room I was moving into with them.
Oh, is
right?
it? Did you meet the person that was moving?
No, I didn't meet her. And the way they spoke about her, what they said about her, should have made me realise do you know what I mean? They're the problem, not me. Because when it came down to how they were treating me, I felt scared to speak up because I'm like, if I speak up now, they're gonna say I'm house weak. They're gonna say, oh, she's no fun. That really hit me because I was like,
yeah, but
I can't make myself uncomfortable. Or even more uncomfortable.
Yeah, but I think speaking out against their racism trumps them speaking out against you being poor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you got to weigh up the two,
right? When you put it like that, it's also dumb. When I think about it, what would have happened? I would have spoke up against them. Spoke to someone about it, figured out how to report it, and got moved.
That's it. Yeah, you would have got moved. You would have got moved as a bunch of boring people.
If they told the next group of people, oh yeah, she was there, I don't care because I'm not there. I wouldn't care because I'm not there. But that's what do they call it? Benefit of hindsight. That's something I now know. You know, that's something I now know.
That's crazy.
It was very.
Was that like the most intense experience you've ever had like that?
At uni, whilst we were walking around, what's it? I can't remember. I think we might have been going shopping Lidl or something. I think the lads there came back from a football game, like white boys. Started calling us monkeys. Me and Christina, and I think we might have been with Michaela as well. So it's started calling us monkeys and doing monkey noises. Look at the monkeys, just out chanting. Just like, yeah, we look around the road, like, maybe the inside joke with their friend who's coming with the monkey. It's us. They're talking to you.
And it's crazy because these are like uni students.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that.
These
like,
are young people who are being educated, like, but these are their beliefs. But this is how they've been raised.
Yeah, facts.
And then people say, oh yeah, the older generation will die out, and you know, that we have more, you know,
Some things
educated.
just
No,
carry on.
some things is once you've learned it, that's it. That's what you believe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even down to like, oh, like black people, white people thinking, you know, black people's hair are a certain way, like, and then they're surprised when they're like, oh my god, you didn't know your hair could, and it's like,
Yeah.
but who told you to believe what you were taught? Who told you to believe that? And in terms of it being like Portsmouth, I think, even despite it being a university city, it's still quite a back alley place. Like it's got a lot of like maturing to do. I remember being on the bus one time there. I was going to the hospital in Portsmouth, and there was like a hijabi family on the bus, and someone outside the day was really like Islamophobic.
See what?
Loud on the bus. And I kept thinking to myself, like, tell him to stop. When I look around the bus,
And no one's saying nothing.
not even that, when I look around the bus and everyone but myself and that hijabi family are the only minorities, I'm not speaking up. I can't. I'm the only other minority on that bus, and I should. It felt like I was like in a very hard place. You know what I mean? I really like inside I feel so angry. I really wanted to like snatch the phone out of his hand. Like it was so careless because her kids were like really young, and hopefully they didn't understand any of it. But I can't imagine how that mom was feeling. Do you know what I mean? To know that, you know,
They're doing this
because of you, and this is what they think of you. And then to me, I felt like disappointed myself that I didn't, but at the same time it was self-preservation because again I was the only other minority on that bus.
Yeah, I was just trying to think like what would the right thing have been to do?
If nobody else, the majority couldn't tell them who am I, me, the minority, to tell them to turn it off.
Yeah, but if in your clear conscience you know that what they're doing is wrong, and if you have an impulse to say turn that off, like I think part of being true to yourself is acting out
on it.
What comes to your heart, innit?
Yeah, I'll definitely look back and, you know, we try not to regret things, but that has to be one of the things that I regret in life, not doing. But again, it's the benefit of
but you learn, at least you learn from your mistakes. So
now if I saw anything, it'd be like 100%. Do you know what I mean? Like I have no qualms about stepping in and telling someone where they can go and shove it. Yeah. Go and shove it. You go back to your country.
Yeah, facts.
But
man, that's intense, bro.
it is a bit.
I never heard that story before. Still, I didn't know it was like that, man.
It's like that.
Now I feel twice as bad for the nasties in the bed. No, I'm joking. But
They did the nasties in my bed.
What?
They were in my bed naked. He was butt naked and she was in there as well. Oh,
Why?
I had to check. That was part of it. Like the lack of just respect for me as well. My bedroom was open and
they just went in there.
And they were both in there naked in my bed. Like I've literally got videos of this guy running around. Like I told you, I recorded everything. I took evidence of everything. Like just running around into my bed naked, and me going, "Can you stop it?" And it was like, it was quite awkward. Just naked in my bed. Like it was just So you had a little respect because you were allowed to be in there. Like it was calm. Like it was making space for my G's to do what they gotta do.
Damn.
But this wasn't consensual. Like it was a big violation. Yeah, man. No, don't push out my worst anymore.
That's insane. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, facts, bro. But I've never heard that story before. Like, I'm sorry you had to go through that shit. That's mad.
Yeah.
At least what you say you recovered from all of that, will come out.
Yeah, I think I recovered from it. I can talk about it, but I'm not feeling like too.
No PTSD.
No PTSD. Do you know what I mean? Because now I've actually talked about it. Where before I just
kept it to yourself.
yeah.
That's the issue with doing that, man. You bottle things up, like.
It comes to a head and it hurts.
Yeah,
Like,
man. One of the things that I realized is that to overcome certain things or to like just grow out of certain issues that like are really tough.
Yeah.
You just gotta go through.
You've got to go through.
You gotta go head first.
Yeah,
into it and
100%.
through it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because by avoiding, you don't learn how to.
Yeah. Avoidance.
You don't learn how to learn what you're supposed to learn from that situation. You know what I mean?
Alright, yo, let's clip for him.
Trust.
Let's clip for him.
Nah, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. I get it.
So I think it's
Things to
important.
learning to
Nah, man, heavy. That's why I need to get out of the UK.
Bro, low key, sometimes I've been thinking, do I want to settle here? Like, it's a scam. But then the places I want to move to, like, it's
If you can go anywhere, where would you go?
I go back home. I just go back to Togo. Togo!
Togo.
Hold on, where's my bracelet? Togo! I'd go back to Togo. Like, sun. Like, just that sun.
Good weather.
Good weather. The food.
Good
Do
food.
you know what I mean? It's all homegrown. Like, I've got land back home. So I want to cultivate that land.
I'll be honest with you, man. You're wasting your time here, bro.
I want to cultivate like that, but you need money to cultivate things. You need money to be able to build on things, and that's why, yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's why our families migrated to the UK. They needed to make money to send back home to build things. Like my mum's building her house back home, but she needs money to build her house back home. And
Where there's a way, there's a will, though.
Where there's a way, there's a will. But I can't just
And I
go
think
back home with no prospects.
You gotta trust the process, man. It might right now seem like you'll go home and it's like, bro, what am I gonna do? But
Yeah.
you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
man.
100. I could, but at least I should have a plan. Do you know what I mean? I should have something on me to help me to get through, you know, a couple months and then really start working on things. Like you can't just, I don't know. Actually, you have to be realistic. Like if I was 17 and I just got a level, that's calm. Like I have time to build and work on things and do whatever. But at the young age that I am right now,
It's not impossible, but I guess it is a bit more harder though.
yeah, it's a lot. Especially when you have people relying on you and that, like, you know what I mean? It's a bit harder.
Right. But yeah, man. I think we'll leave it here though.
Yeah.
It's been a
Convo.
solid convo
Yeah,
still.
it's
But like,
what
it's a
time
shame,
is
it's a shame that this died.
7 p.m.
Damn.
We started at maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah. It's a shame that this died, but said never heard the last part of it. It gives a toss anyway.
It gives a toss.
It gives a toss. We'll upload there. We'll see what we're saying.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the edit.
Yeah, that'll be. In fact, probably sooner than you think.
Is it?
But I think I'll be uploading this like.
It's number 8 in the series.
Yeah,
so a lot later.
and it'll be one a week. So
One a
this
week.
will be
That's good. 8 weeks. No,
8
that's
weeks
calm.
after I
What's
upload
that?
the first.
2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, but I haven't even uploaded the first.
We'll wait on it.
It'll be like 4 months. Say this. But that concludes issue 8 though.
Oi! Left no crumbs in that.
Trust.
Left no crumbs.
Trust. Oh, really.